and decide to see a flop. Tim's current chip count is 168,000, so he's not exactly flush with chips, and he's certainly behind the chip average for the tournament. So a wise decision would be to put these in the muck and just suck it up. But it's difficult when you've already put in a significant amount of money. And Tim shows the ace, and he's kind of just saying to Lambo, I had a disciplined fold there, I gave you the benefit of the doubt and a bit of respect. So looking maybe for some reciprocation later, or just building his image accordingly. Nice hand all the same, well played Lambo. And he picks up the dead money in the shape of 20 grand from the big blind. No other callers. Once again, the stable, it starts off very, very quiet. As I say, they've been playing for a while. 38 minutes into the level.
Free drinks.
So 60-minute levels now. So it's this level and the next level before the players get another break. And the local time is 9:35 in the evening here in the beautiful Cape. Fold round to Haggai, 4-3, he's not interested in the hijack. Raising the cutoffs, late position, ace-9.
Up to 25,000.
So 25, 2.5x in terms of his raise. And the button folds, remember, with his king, sorry, I didn't see his cards, king jack from Tim. And that's a flat call. And Rhonda with the 5-2. And she's shown that she doesn't like to give away her cards and she likes to see flops. So 5-2. I don't mind the call here, to be honest. She's already put a big blind in, so another 15k. Yeah, and let's see a flop. Okay, so Tim flops a king, and obviously Ray flops 3 aces. Check. I mean, Ray would do well to check here, but I think if he bets, it'll be fold. Tim might get a bit sticky with his king if he doesn't believe that he's got an ace.
25,000.
Only because he's got another picture card in his hand, and you know, it's a reasonable kicker. Yeah, they're still there, Tim. King Jack, offsuit. You got second pair. If you don't put him on an ace, then maybe you can smooth call here. Not a good time to be pulling any moves. It looks like just a flat call there from Tim. He wants to see another one. He doesn't believe the story. And you watch Daniel here. He's taking in what's Tim doing. What's what's the player to his right doing? Ray Adam collecting information all the time. Immediately switches back to Tim. What's his reaction going to be here? Does Tim believe him? So it's a 40,000 bet from Ray, and almost a snap call from Tim. So it's a brick on the river. 2 of spades helps nobody. Ray's got a lock on the hand. So now it's all about, Tim is checked, so Ray has got to make a value bet, probably about 60,000. And he bets 55,000. That's a reasonable size bet to get called off. He's priced Tim in, and Tim knows he's got to pay him off, and now he's going to see the bad news. And Tim realizes that his read was wrong, slides his cards across into the muck, and picks up that very juicy pot. Well played. Unlucky Tim. Tim thought he was golden there. If our graphic is right, Tim is running on air here with about 23,000 left. Which is essentially 2 big blinds. The only good news is that he's on the button, so he's going to get a few free looks before he has to put his money in. Mr. Sun with the Raggedy Ace 2 under the gun. Suspect there's a guy in the muck. That guy looks down at 6-5 and decides he doesn't need to see that. Ray Adams got Ace King. We'll certainly see a raise of some description from Ray. 25, I think.
Up to 30,000.
That's up to 30,000. Daniel gets rid of his cards, and Tim picks up 7-2.
Alright, so far.
No, I know. I know, you don't have to show me. It's just frustrating.
Are you sure? Ace what?
He's trying to believe it right and focus on it. The man has had it every time.
Well, he's just on a big hand. So he's not going to get involved with mediocre.
Small blind.
Thanks for the bad news.
Up to 25.
What did Edgar bring in that bag? Food. Some fucking run food or what?
I was freezing in the freaking.
Can't you give me that bag? You just put it down for a bit, man.
25 total. Thank you.
Okay, sorry I was away for a moment there. I've been saying all day I need a lady in the booth with me, and my dreams have been answered. Mr. Lauren Scott is with us. He's just busted out of the 6 max, unfortunately. Hi Lauren, how you doing?
How's it? Fine, and you?
Yeah, good, good. At last we have some ladies in the booth, and a lady poker player of note. So Lauren is a regular on the Johannesburg circuit. I played a lot of poker with Lauren, and very accomplished. Unfortunately, we're not seeing you on the main table, but you know, their loss is our gain, so it's nice to have you with us. How are you finding PE?
I'm actually very impressed with PE, especially this hotel.
So far.
Yeah, it's a little gem, you know, parked out here in the Eastern Cape, and
Yeah.
the rooms are very, very nice. I thought.
Beautiful, and it's clean. The weather hasn't been too bad.
Yeah, it's a bit windy, but you expect that
Well,
on the coast, huh?
You do, especially in PE.
Yeah. So we've got a hand developing here, and I mean Lauren's first time in commentary, so
112,000.
you know, we've got an all-in here from Blaster in seat 1, which is Sean Schumann. You know Sean from PE?
I've played with him a little bit.
Yeah. So he's got his money in with Ace 2 here, and Haggai's got to make a decision in the big blind. So he's already committed 20,000. And you know, Haggai would take his time, and you know, Haggai, better known to his friends as Googie. You know Googie quite well.
Yeah, I do.
he's
I think
gonna-
he's going to fold.
Yeah, I mean, you know him actually very, very well. You played up a lot of poker with him, but he will take his time. He'll think it through.
He will, but I think he'll fold. I don't think he can call.
I don't think so either, 9H, but we'll see. He's in the big blind, so he's already committed some chips. And you know, that big blind anti-dynamic, it does affect every player. I don't care what people say, you know. You almost feel like you've played 2 big blinds and you're obliged to call, you know.
It does.
But this is a huge call, you know, it's 112,000. And, you know, our guy's sitting on 265,000. So it's just too big a chunk of money, I think.
So. I
Especially
think
at this
it's too big.
stage of the tournament when
Yep.
we're going to be down to 2 tables shortly for sure.
Yeah. I saw Ace Jack of Hearts folded.
Did it really? I didn't see the
Yeah.
folds. You were paying more attention than me. I was busy adjusting headsets, but so Ace Jack of Hearts folded. So that's one of the ads from each of them.
Yep.
It doesn't affect the suits, obviously. Okay, I think we should chat to Googie now. He's had enough TV time.
I
Let's get
think
rid of his
so.
cards, huh?
Yeah. He's got a fold here. It's too big a chunk of his stack.
Yeah. Sean, you know, Blaster in seat 1, he's not shown any ranges at all. So we've not got a lot of information on what he's been up to.
Yeah.
And he just flashes the ace on the bottom card there, and drags in the dead money. It's a profit of 25,000 to him. You know, Googie would have been calling there, but he would have been, you know, to win 25k.
Exactly.
Half your stack, not worth it. So we got Ray Adam up top. This is these chip counts are just the table,
Okay.
not the field. Rhonda Fiveland, known as Fiveland,
Yes.
and
From
she's
Canada.
our Canadian lady, and Hawaii Sun, who you all know, is sitting in seat 2.
I do.
It gives us an international flavour to the table. Just a quick shot of the level there. Half an hour gone in the levels. The levels have now changed to 1 hour. Blinds are at 5 and 10 and 10 on the big blind ante. And you'll see we're down to 21 players now from the 53
wow.
entries. So getting very close to the
2 tables.
2 tables.
Or as a four.
Sorry, I just had a speaker come on in the background. I just knocked that off. That's the feed catching up on our laptops here, so my apologies for the interjection. So we've got Lambo here with Ace Jack, 10 to call under the gun. I suspect we'll see a raise out of Lambo. He'll take his time, very methodical, conservative, solid
Very.
player. Queen 8 here, and Lambo cleans up the dead money, and we'll move on.
I think he's got quite a tight image.
He has. He's got that kind of slick upright look about him, you know. We were talking about him earlier. He's always well presented, Lambo, you know.
Always.
And good company. I mean, I've mixed it up with him in several countries in Africa on the poker table. We've met in various places. It's some bizarre games as well. But and he gets around a bit with his business as well. And he's a part of a sports business, a sports betting business. We won't name them for advertising rights, but. Yeah, good chap. A little look at the outside tables here. Harold Brooks with his head back to us, and of course Henny Apple, the other bald contender at the table.
Yeah, and Wes looks like he's got a stack.
Yeah, was battling earlier, but he seems to be picking up a little bit. And a dangerous player. We saw a bit of him on the feature table, and he's not scared to mix it up.
No.
So Tim's our short stack at the table. He's under the gun with 96 offsuit, and he's going to shove it in. I suppose he figures he's got a couple of live cards. You know?
How much has he got?
I think it's about 23,000. So it's 2 and a bit bigs.
Yeah, he's got to do it.
Yeah, he doesn't have a choice under the gun. He's in the big blind next time round, so he's going to be forced anyhow. So Blaster has got 9-3. Can't see him raising to isolate here, so his money is going in the muck. I mean, Son's got a hand to call with here. He's in the cut-off. He might just feel that...
He doesn't have a stack to call, really, I don't think.
Well, 275.
Yeah.
Googie wakes up with the computer hand, Queen 7. And, you know, Tim has got no fold equity here, so...
None.
Ray has got to call him out of the small, or Lambo's got to call him out of the big. One of the two's got to stand up and be the policeman on the
Probably
table.
both should call him. He's got the stack to call to take a player out.
For sure.
I think they should both call.
So I think he flats there. And Lambo's got the king. You get out of the way, and you know he'll let Ray do the work. So we'll have the cards on the backs. And you know, good luck, Tim.
Yep, he needs a bit of a miracle.
As he calls, I'm not wasting 13k. But yeah, King 5.
Okay, so he's got a couple of live cards, Lauren.
He has. Anything can happen.
He doesn't call a snap, but
And there's the anything that can happen, of course. There's the 6, and of course the gut shot straight draw as well.
And he's up and down though.
And of course he does have the 8 with the up and down.
Yep.
No flush possibilities at the moment. The
Now there
diamonds,
is.
the
Now he's
diamonds,
up and down with diamonds.
with the diamonds. So you see at the top of the screen, you've got 11 outs.
Oh wow.
And Tim's 6 holds up.
Yep.
So 2 pairs, 6s and 3s. And Tim's profit is in total, well, 43,066 in the pot. So well done. 6 big blinds. He can take a breath, but not for long. He's in the big
he's
blind
got one
straight off the bat.
rotation. Yeah, he's got one rotation. He has to do it again.
So he's in the big blind next, I believe. So he's already lost, you know, 2 big blinds out of that, so 20,000. Yeah. And Ray's on the button here, so small as Lambo and big as Tim, and it'll be Rhonda under the gun first act. So before you came in, I was telling the viewers that I've been chatting with Rhonda at the break, and she says, patience, position, never limp. I'm going to be tighter this time round. I haven't seen any evidence of that yet. 9-7, you know, 9-7 of diamonds, tanking, you know, for an all-in. And, but she's a character.
She is.
She's a character.
Yeah, played next to her yesterday. She's a character.
And you know, nice to have her over here from Canada.
Very nice.
She likes her TV time as well. She likes a little bit of a tank now and then, which is good. But she's got a huge amount of friends watching. So the Blaster's all in with his pocket 10s here. 137,000, so that's about 13 and a bit big blinds.
Yes.
Lambert with the ace-2 is going to run away in the small. Tim wakes up with King Jack. I think it's an instant call
I
here.
think so. I don't know what else he can wait for.
No, I mean,
It's a good hand.
superb hand in the big blind.
Yep. And with his stack, I don't think he has a choice.
In fact, it's almost a slow roll. He's not got his money in yet.
Absolutely.
For me,
Yeah.
I think I think it goes in.
It's a snap.
Yeah, indeed. There we go. And we're off to the races.
Okay, well, he's got 2 live cards.
It's almost a 50-50.
It is. It's the same as having ace-king in this
Yeah,
position.
indeed. That's what I'd say. We're off to the races. Let's see what the flop brings. Tim got lucky the last time out, and it
again.
appears that Tim got lucky again. So Blaster's 10s are under threat. But let's see what the turn brings. There's a queen, so not really anything going. He's drawing to 2 outs here. And no 10.
Tim doubles up again.
And there we go. And you see the big sigh from the Blaster there, Sean.
Yeah.
I know Sean quite well. He won't be happy about that. But,
No.
he got his money in good.
He did.
You can't
There's nothing
complain.
he can do.
He's running around on 13 bigs. He picks up a better than average pair. I mean, standard play. And the only thing non-standard was how long it took Tim to call.
Absolutely. Have you? Was he the one that folded kings to Bozo's ace king?
No, this is Sean Schumann was the guy.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah, did you see that on the stream?
I did.
Yeah.
I
Did you
couldn't believe it.
You heard my reaction, obviously. And there's you got to dig deeper to understand what happened in that hand. You know,
Yes.
I mean, there was the razor, re-razor, and all in, and obviously Bozo was behind. Of course he was with the ace king.
Yes, and
But
there were 3 aces or 2 aces folded.
Indeed, and so Blaster was a banker to win that hand.
Yeah.
But these guys know each other so well, a deep friendship, and I think in the past there's been that conversation over a beer. I'll let you know if I've got the goods,
Yes.
one of those type conversations. And Bozo let him know he had the goods, but he didn't have the goods.
He didn't,
Not
no.
against kings.
No.
And some people will say, well, you're abusing my friendship or whatever. But what is the perception is? What are the goods? He didn't say it was aces. And I've spoken to both players after that, and there's no malice between either of them. And I think very disciplined fold. He put him on aces and he folded.
Well,
That's
I have
big.
folded kings before to aces, but they were aces in fact.
This is another classic case of why you're waiting, Tim.
Yes.
I mean, Sean's obviously got an ace here, but King 10 suited is a fantastic hand when you're short
I
stacks.
actually prefer it.
Yeah, it tends to flop well.
Yeah.
You sort of catch
You've got so many more.
you catch the art gallery at the
opportunities.
top, but you can catch a bit of the lower cards at the bottom. And, the fact it's suited is giving you another couple of percent, or at least
Absolutely.
1%.
Yeah.
So, and, if you look at the percentages on the board there with 2 of them in, it's actually a race.
It is.
You've got to win the flips, but you've got to be in the flips as well, Tim, and you can't let these type of hands pass you by. Now, okay, you're on the button next hand, and you're going to get 4 or 5 looks for free, and maybe that's what he's thinking, and he's trying to get through.
Yeah, but you can get 7-2 for the next 5 hands,
So
and you'll
King 10 goes in the muck.
regret it.
Ronda's having to think about it with King 8, and it's not even suited.
Yeah. TV time maybe.
Maybe some TV time. Big shout out to Edmonton. I know we're enjoying Rhonda here. She's just a character, a very funny lady.
Has she got friends watching from there?
She
They're
has
watching the
indeed.
feed?
Yeah.
Ah.
She had a whole crew of them around one screen.
Wow.
I told them to go away and get individual screens so we can improve our numbers. I don't know what time it is in Edmonton in Canada, but they're all up and watching and rooting for their girls. So yeah, go Canada. And go Oilers. Apparently she's a big Oilers fan, so
Anyway, he says he wanted to call.
I think that's ice hockey. I'm not sure.
I'm not
a
sure.
bit
Never
un-
heard of them.
bit uneducated about that sort of stuff, but
No, they've been transferred, man.
happy to go with it. So nice international feel about our feature table. On the button is Tim. As I say, he's going to get a few free looks now. So Blaster's in the big blind, and Sean's not scared to get his chips in.
No.
We've seen that,
Yep.
No.
and he's been getting away with it for a while.
Right cards in.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Sun needs to just get his cards over the reader. Got a little bit of a problem with C3
I went like this,
and the reader.
and then you pull back the right one, so I wasn't sure.
Okay, not to worry, they're in the muck, so
Listen, if he folded that quickly,
and
then
Googie's
it's
got King
definitely
7.
It's a fold, I think.
Yeah, and with this technology, the RFID, we actually know what he has before he does.
Yes.
Which is always nice. So pocket fives for Lambo, he's not going to let that go by. He
No.
knows that's quite a strong hand, short-handed here.
23,000.
No steal.
And he's raised it up to 23,000. Rhonda's got the Queen 10, the old Barconi hand.
She might, no, she won't call. Played with her yesterday and she was looser than this. She was calling with those kind of hands.
Well, I've
Maybe
chatted
she's
to her.
tightened up in this event.
I chatted to her at the break, as I say, and I said to her, so what brings this new tight image? She said 3 bullets in the high roller.
Oh, that'll do it.
Can I use
So
your
she's
pawn
in for
star glasses?
120k.
Although when you're working in dollars, that's not too bad.
No, not at all, not at all. So we'll look a quick sneak at the outside tables. I see we've got Sean Governor still, and
There's
Gareth
Gareth.
Gareth Hudson, and Moaz Ghani, and Eugene Duplessis, and Alvin Pile, and of course we've got Henny Apple, and the other challenged in the hair department is Uncle Harold behind our blogger there.
And Devon, is he out?
He's
I don't see him.
around somewhere. He's probably hiding over in this corner. I haven't seen him out, but it's quite possible. He was short stacked for a while. So Googie wakes up with a Jack 6 under the gun. Don't think he's going to go anywhere with that. And there's a lot of quick folds.
Yes,
Lambo gets rid of his pocket twos. Now it shows a level of experience.
Yes.
Lambo didn't even consider calling with that. No TV time, nothing. Just get
Nothing.
rid of it.
He's
Position
a
is
very
everything.
solid player.
Indeed. And solid poker gets results, as we all know. Now,
Does.
here's a chance to watch the lady we were talking about. And I think that's a min raise, I'm not sure. Yeah, up to 20k. That's a come to dinner bet, you know.
Oh,
Ole.
the sun's gone all in.
Some with the ace 4, and he likes that ace 4. It's a couple of times I've seen him
350.
get a little bit out of line with
I
ace
think
4
he
sometimes.
likes an ace, if it's
Yeah,
suited.
but you know, he's won a few tournaments. In fact, he won the main event at Sun City.
He's very well known here.
Yeah.
Everybody knows him.
So Rhonda's got the glasses off. I think she's been watching a few YouTube videos. She knows how the piece goes.
Yeah.
Glasses back on. So, you know, Sun is at 265,000 all in. So it's 26
That's a lot.
lines. There's
It's a lot.
26 lines.
And it's most of her stack.
Oh yeah, it's all of it. She's
Yeah.
dead in the water if she pulls this off and she gets
Yes.
beat. No, we can see that she's ahead and they will be semi-racing.
I don't think she can call.
This is poker, not a Q&A.
Okay, so Sun's chirping her a little bit there,
Yes.
which is unusual in Mrs. Sun. He's normally quite reserved.
Yeah.
He's been hanging around you South African guys for too long, eh?
Clearly.
Oh dear, it's nice to have a bit of fun at the table. But it is serious business. This is essentially for tournament life and definitely for Sun's tournament life. So, you know, let's give her a bit of breathing space. Let her think about it. Just play what's gone on before. Think about the hands that he's played before. You know, let's just, you know, call up the memory bank as we do.
Yes. She must be thinking at best he's got ace king.
252,000.
And it's a race.
Yeah.
At
And
best.
if she thinks then that's the case, well then, you know, go racing.
Yes. But at best, she may be thinking he's got an overpair.
So we got some popular names joining us on the stream. We got Ricardo, Benny Schoenfeld. I'll give you a shout out because Benny Schoenfeld is my son-in-law.
Oh, really?
He's married to my daughter.
Okay.
So
Where are
nice
they?
to see. They're in the West Rand.
Okay.
Moon Khan,
Yes.
who doesn't know Moon?
Who doesn't? Where is Moon? Why
We're
is he not
talking
here?
about the Moon here, and we're talking about the sun there. You know,
Yes.
happy days.
But I thought Moon would be here.
And Abdul Essa, did we get a call there? No, not yet. She's still in the tank. And Abdul Essa, a very, very accomplished player, of course, a WPT winner and
Yes.
a Monsterjam poker winner, is on the stream. So a big shout out to Abdul. Sorry you're not here. Please let us know if you're going to come through for the main. We'd like to see you. We just go back to our stream here now.
She's counting out her chips.
Yeah, Rhonda's counting it
I
out.
don't
And she
know
sees
why,
what sort of
because-
change she's going to get. A lot of
pretty
players
much
do
all of
this
us,
though.
yeah.
You know, they do it just to
Think some more.
think some more, buy some time. So you know the rules say you must give a player a reasonable amount of time before you call time on them.
Yes.
What would you consider to be a reasonable amount of
I
time?
think that was in a reasonable amount of time.
I reckon 2 minutes is fine.
Yeah.
And then after 2 minutes, if you wanted to call time, depending on the situation and the player, and depending on the behaviour that's gone before, you know, another minute, that's 3 minutes to make a decision. Now, if you look at a lot of these top professional tournaments with timing clocks now, they get 30 seconds and they can extend by 30 seconds.
Yes, they have a
you know,
few bank times, don't they?
yeah, time bank cards,
Yep,
that's what
time
they
bank
call them.
times,
Yeah.
yep.
So we got 13 minutes left out of the first level. And
Oh, there's the prizes. I haven't seen that.
yeah, so 663
Okay.
up top and guaranteed
six
92 at the
places.
bottom. Yeah, so nice prize pool, playing
Yep.
6 places. So
There's the ace full suited again.
yeah, and you know Ray plays a few of these high rollers.
25,000.
Nice guy, I believe he's a Cape Townian.
I don't think I've played with him before.
I don't know him that well, but quite a solid player from what we've seen and the evidence that's been presented to the table. We've seen him a couple of times on the feature table today.
Is it?
Yeah, so he seems like a nice chap. We bumped into each other briefly in the break,
Two, eh?
Phone over the
and
team.
I've not seen him pull a move all day.
Really?
No, not at all. In fact, this is the closest I've seen him to pull a move, 2.5x with ace-4 suited.
Wow.
So, you know, he's been pretty steady.
And he's got a stack.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
not like he's struggling.
No, he's chip leader on this table.
Yes.
With over $500,000. I didn't get a chance to take stock of what was happening out in the field, but I hear Ahmed's got a reasonably big stack as well.
And Eugene, I heard.
Yeah, Eugene also has been harvesting chips.
And Kenny Morgan looked like he had a huge stack too.
And we're not surprised by any of those names,
No,
are we?
no,
not
we're
at
not.
all. You know, so...
And Mariette, is she still in?
I saw her on the feature table earlier. She
Yes.
took down a big pot and
She
made
also
a
had a
very
big
nice
stack.
call. Had a big stack. So just looking around, I think that's Marionette with her back to us here with the hoodie on next to
Oh,
Aston.
yes, yes.
And opposite Neil Govender. And you got Rudolph is in the corner there. And Uncle Harold. And there's Devan.
Oh, is that Diva?
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, some of the regulars still in, and some of the the top professionals in South Africa. To be fair,
Yes.
you know.
23,000.
Rhonda was asking me how many professionals were in the field. I said, depends on your definition of a professional. She said, you haven't got a job.
Probably 100%. No,
Well, I haven't
not
got a job,
quite.
but I haven't got a job doesn't make me a professional. Okay, Lambo's got the pocket fives here. He's raised to 23,000. Yeah, it's an interesting that the standard raise is like 2.5 big blinds.
Yes,
It's almost like come along bets, you know.
absolutely. And Rhonda's called with the ace full suited.
Again, the ace
Again.
full suited. This
Yep.
is getting spookier. Every hand. Well, she's got the flush cards, the one over. Let's see.
No,
Okay, so
nothing
no
there.
good news there. Lambo's going to bet out, I would have thought.
He may check. He's quite solid.
Ron's got the hat on backwards. Maybe this is the action stations we've been looking for.
Yes. And Lambo's out of position, so
Yeah,
makes it difficult to bet there.
for sure. Okay, maybe she should have took the opportunity there, huh?
I think maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Lambo, there's 3 overs on the flop and there's 3 cards to a flush. I mean, you know, she's sitting on a club, you know, etc., etc. I could see this checking down to the river.
I can see it. I think Lambo would have bet the flop if he had any piece of it to protect
Yeah.
it from the flush.
Well, maybe Rhonda thinks that she should be putting a few chips in there. The pot is at 71,000, so you know I think you'll scare him off with anything between 35 and 45,
Definitely.
and that's my sizing. 50. Okay, she
I think
bets
he'll
just
fold
over.
for 50.
I think so too. That's 2/3 pots. I think they go in the muck.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's a nice bet from Rhonda.
Yes.
She sussed that out nicely and showed a level of maturity in terms of her play. Okay, so while we're waiting for the dealer, we'll just have a quick shout out to our sponsors, the Aquavita Water Company, or our official sponsor and the official sponsor of the EFC, and of course the Regal Hospitality and Events. That'll be Mark Joseph and his team, of which Monsterjam is a part of. Our partners, Sun International, Global Poker Index and the Hendon Mob. And of course our friends from Sun International here at the Boardwalk in the Eastern Cape who are looking after us royally. We are being spoiled for sure.
Oh, that we are.
Indeed.
Lovely.
I'm going to ask my tech team to present you with the prize that you get for being a commentator. It's a free bottle of Aquavita
Oh,
water.
fantastic.
If one of my beautiful assistants over here could pass you a bottle. We can't let you come visit without giving you free water. Of
No,
course you can get it
definitely
outside,
not.
but ours is special in here.
This is special.
This is very special water.
Thank you.
There you go, Lauren. We do get a bit hoarse sitting in front of the screen and talking for most of the day, so it's nice to have Aquavita on hand to keep us well hydrated. Now, Hawaii-san has picked up
Yes.
Ace-10.
And he likes ace 4, so ace 10
And,
is-
you know,
looks-
Sean is all in before him, so I think let's see how quick how long it takes Mr. Sun to call. He's in the cutoff, so
81,000.
he's only got Gogs to his left on the
Oh
button of the
no, he's
blinds.
folded.
Well, there you go.
Oh look. He's woken up with the best hand he's seen for hours.
I have no idea.
Oh look, 2 more hearts. I think the hearts were pretty dead.
Discipline fold.
Did you hear what Lambo said then? This
No.
is a disciplined fold.
Oh.
Ace-3 suited. Listen, it's got to be Ace-4 or better, man.
Oh, it does. Ace 3 won't cut it.
No, we're not letting you in there with that.
No.
So we haven't heard from Tim for a while. He's been getting a few free looks. He's got 12 big blinds with his 122 after he spun it up twice.
Yes.
So
Where is he? According to the button.
we're going to look at the outside table here. There's Eugene, Olvin. Uncle Harold's away from the table. Miles is there. Divan is here, of course. And hey, the guy, I forgot his name. I'm terrible.
I don't know his name either.
Say
I
that,
do.
what the hell?
I know his name. It's Ray Adams, I think.
Okay.
I'll be happy to give much
So
So where is the button?
it's
Tim on big blind. Yep.
so Tim's now got the big blind. We're on a hand of 176 for the day. Blinds are at 5 and 10 with a 10k big blind ante.
Hello, baby.
Mr. Sun folds 8-6, which are lucky cards for our friends from Asia.
8-6. I
Yeah.
thought 8-8.
8-8 for definite.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like pocket aces to a person from China.
Absolutely.
In their culture, the very lucky numbers. Lambo folds my favourite hand.
Maybe not.
10 jack. Is it?
My favourite hand.
There's nothing worse than sitting there and being card dead, hand after hand.
Oh, it's
It's
terrible.
very
It's
frustrating.
terrible. I've sat here down to 20 players. We won't go to 2 tables until such times as we get to 18.
Yes.
I don't know what Mark's intention is, but I would suspect that the goal is to get down to final table today.
I would think so.
Yeah, it's usually the standard.
Yep.
So Bluster will be in the under the gun here, and so Tim is in the big. Did we say? No, he's in the small.
No, in the
blind.
small now.
He's in the small now.
Looks like Hagar's going to have a stab at this. King 4 suited.
23.
So Gogs has been very quiet.
Yes.
He's raised to 23,000. So it's 10 bigs and a little piece. Rhonda's having a little check of her cards. There's 6-3. I mean, you know, show them to the centre, spin them around a few times, and then slide
Make us
them.
dizzy.
Slide them to your left, and then let's move on.
Yep. No,
She's never calling you.
she is.
My word.
Wow.
What do we know about poker, Lauren?
Nothing. Clearly we need to
Absolutely
learn a few more
zip.
things.
This is high level, huh?
Yep.
Or gambling. One of the two. Oh, hello.
Oh, and she hits.
Hello.
They both hit. No clubs.
Nope.
I think Hagar could be in trouble a bit.
And our guy is for sure continuing here.
Yes,
The C
I
bet will
think
go
so.
in.
And she's calling. She's on a straight draw as well.
And here comes the continuation bet. which is standard.
It is.
What's that, 40k? Maybe
32.
32.
There's no way she folds here now.
So that's the third pot. Sized it down a little. Well, in fact, it was half pots at the time, so it's a reasonable sized bet. If Haggai's convinced her that he's on an overpair, then
That's
she
the
can
only
get
way.
away.
Yes, that's the only way, but I don't think...
That was a half-sized pot at the time.
Yeah, she's
Oh.
not folding. I've played with her.
I'll
She's not
tell you
folding
no, I think she's hanging
with a
on to that
straight
6.
He needs a 4 or a king to come.
Check a bet.
That might slow her down.
It doesn't appear like it.
No.
Those are green chips coming forward.
Yeah,
She's fearless, eh?
she is.
And
She
you can
is
only commend her for
absolutely
that.
fearless.
You can only commend her. I mean, that guy's a respected pro in our community, you know.
He is.
And maybe she doesn't know that. Maybe that's helping her.
That is definitely helping her.
Yeah, you know, who's this guy across from me? Thinks
She's
he's
not
gonna take me.
intimidated by anyone
Not
because she
at
doesn't know
all.
them.
Haggai folds here.
Yes, and I think with him getting such terrible cards since I've been here, the King 4 looked like a lovely, lovely hand, and he nearly got away with it.
He didn't reckon on
6-3 calling him.
well, Ronda getting attached to a 6-3 and then
No.
flopping top pair, you know.
Oh, and I think he's going to raise here.
Yeah,
it
it's the
looks
only way
like
he's going to
it.
win the hand.
He can win it if he raises, yes.
And you know, this is high level stuff. You know, the viewers out there think, what on earth is he doing? Well, the truth of it is,
Well, he might be going with his read.
he's going with his read, or maybe
doesn't
he's
look
lining
like
up.
he-
Maybe he's
yeah.
lining up for a big one on the river.
Yeah, he didn't raise. Oh, now he's in trouble.
Yeah, he's got a problem now.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Ronda's got a lock on her hand, and the only way she loses is if she folds.
She can't fold there. Never.
No, that guy has to
he
fold.
can't
That's
call.
100,000
Yes,
plus.
he can't call.
He knows he's in trouble.
Yeah.
He's been around long enough to know he's in trouble. You know,
There's a straight out there. There's now paired board.
yeah. I mean, the flush gets there as well, runner. I
Yep.
mean, not that you can. Well, you can put Ronda on anything. You know, she's.
Well, he's played with her all day, so he knows what she's capable of calling with.
Yeah. So he's got a 6 in her range for
Yeah.
sure.
Yep.
He's got a 10 in her range for sure. And let's be honest, even if he's
3-5,
got a 2 in
she's
her,
got-
if
she's
he's
got
got
a-
a 2 in her range, he's losing. He's behind.
No, he's hit the 4.
Oh, sorry, it's the 4. Yes,
Yeah,
of course he is.
but she could have 3-5. That's in her range.
So basically, we're saying she could have anything.
She could. And there's a paired board and an over, well, 2 overcards to his pair.
Yeah.
He's going to have to fold, unless he doesn't leave her. He could put her on a flush draw from the flop.
For sure.
Let's get her the flush.
That guy looking for information. That's a great camera angle to take in Haggai, and you know him well enough, you know.
Yes.
You know what he's thinking.
I know what he's thinking. He's thinking she could have an ace-high flush draw that she missed.
I don't think
But
he
he's
can
also
call.
not strong enough to call, unless he really puts her on missing.
That'd be a superhero call to
It
call
would
here,
be.
you know. And we've got a minute left on the level. That beep indicates in the background that we're going to be going up to a new blind level shortly.
Yes. You know, normally if someone calls out of the small blind arrays, they should be quite strong.
Yeah, indeed.
So he can put her on.
Yeah, if that 6 hadn't come on the river, he might have got rid of her with a big bet on
I
the river.
think he would have. Yes.
But, you know, with a paired board,
He called. Oh wow.
Cut up.
and he's going to see the bad news.
He clearly put her on a missed flush.
Yeah.
Buying special.
And that's the pain of getting it wrong. He's just written straight across his face.
Absolutely.
Now, Ronda, be
Thank you very
very
much,
nice.
dealer.
No words to need to be spoken. Stack
No.
your chips
Yes.
and see if you learn that lesson. Good for you, girl.
Don't
Well played.
antagonize the South Africans. They don't take kindly to it.
You know we have animals roaming the streets here in Johannesburg.
Lions?
and in
Oh
PE.
yes, lions will come and eat you.
That's so funny. Well done. I mean, she comes from the wilderness as well, you know. Alberta's a massive expanse of open land. We used to go there to fire our tanks.
Oh,
Because
really?
it was big enough to do it. You know, back in the army days. Yeah, but a beautiful part of the world as well. Not in the winter on
Is
my
it a
hat.
freezing part of the world?
Yeah, oh dear, it gets a bit
Yeah.
chilly up there.
Okay.
It makes South Africa look quite tropical in the winter. So, yeah. And she's counting her chips.
Yeah.
Button is now on...
It's a big pot for her.
yeah, Button's on Tim. I put her chip leader on the table, but she was already in the lead. But
Yeah.
Blinds, guys.
that's a significant stack. I mean, the key now is keeping hold of it.
That is the key. And maybe she'll change gears and tighten up a bit now.
Well, we're going to be first to see. You know, and the great advantage of doing the live stream commentary is that you get to see all the players' hole cards.
Yes.
You know, and as a poker player, you know, it's a great different. It's a real different sort of dynamic.
And you learn a lot as a poker player.
Well, I told you before, this is the best sheet in the house if you want to learn
Absolutely.
about other players.
Yeah.
You know,
And not just about players, about strategy and playing,
indeed,
reading.
indeed. So, Mr. Sun, who I really can't work out this week.
And Haggai's all in.
Yeah,
I thought he might do that. We
the-
don't know what he's got.
He's got
Oh,
4-5 of
4-5
clubs,
suited.
suited connectors.
Yep.
And a little bit early after that hand. You know, he's a bit
How much
steamy.
is his all in?
steamy.
43.
Yeah, he's
Yes,
steaming a
but
little bit.
He
But
will.
yeah, he's
He
got
will
4
want to
bigs.
put. He'll want to put pressure and
No.
Yeah, 43,000.
he'll want to put pressure and try and grab the blinds and build his stack again.
Okay, so Tim's called on the button. I don't know what Tim's got.
We don't know what he's got.
Lambo's folded.
And Ronda's to make a decision.
King
Oh,
10.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's got the 2 overs here.
Yeah.
I think it's a fair call on the button.
43?
Yeah, 43.
And Haggai's got the suited cards at least.
So Tim has
Oh,
called.
Daniel also called.
Oh.
Oh no,
Oh,
he folded.
He folded.
Oh, there's some clubs. Oops. That's not good for Haggai.
No. So Rhonda called.
He won't be happy to see her clubs.
Well, not unless we get a very low flop here.
Oh,
And that's not a
he
really a lot
needs a
of...
6.
Yeah, 6, I mean, that's it really. It's
Yeah.
a 6.
It's only a 6.
So
Or runner,
Rhonda's,
4, 5.
Rhonda's 8. So I think Rhonda might bet the 8 here, so you might see a side
That's
pot
it.
develop.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So Tim's going to get out of the way,
Yep.
and the cards will be on the back. And that guy's going to see he's drawing dead to an 8.
6. Yeah.
Sorry, a 6, so I say. And there's already 1 6 gone, so
No, clubs is it?
Oh shit, sorry. 6 on the top.
we just see the cards there, so that's fine.
Close.
Okay, so 3 outs once,
And river?
and we bid farewell
That's
to
it,
Gogs.
yeah.
Nice tournament,
Well
my
played.
friends. Unlucky.
I think he did the best with what he had, I suppose,
Yeah,
which
indeed,
is all anyone can do.
of course. And you know, great loss to the tournament. He'll move on to the next one. I think he's. I think the rebuy period on the 6 max might still be open. I'm not sure. If it, perhaps he
I
just
think
needs
it's
a rest.
open till about 10:30, I was told. So
Yeah, he's
he's
got a few
little bit
minutes
time.
I thought he'd have
if he wants to go and just cool off over there, or indeed if he just wants to go cool off somewhere else.
Oh yeah, and I'm saying him. If he had an ace, you still beat him.
Oh, yeah, I would have at the end, yeah.
I shift, you call. Gideon.
Probably
Free
because
fluff. No, it's fine. When he went 43, if you went all in for 120, she won for. Got a right price. You called, she got a nice 3 to 1.
Okay, I expect we'll be seeing someone new at our feature table shortly.
Yes.
And of course, we're
Well,
down
there's
to
one
19
more,
players.
One more to go in the 2 tables.
Actually, they probably won't. They'll probably leave us here. So what are we down to here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need to get a. What's that? 6 is 18. No, yeah, we're going to play 600, I think.
Play out.
6, 6,
No.
and 7.
7.
6, 6, and 7.
Well, Blaster's got the jersey off, means business. I don't know, it can be warm out there.
It's freezing out there.
I'm cold set in here for sure.
Maybe the feature table's hotter.
Well, those lights aren't giving off too
Alright.
much heat.
No, but the outer tables are freezing.
Okay, so Tima Akinosi is all in.
he's all in.
54,000, so 5 and a bit blinds. In fact, the blinds have just gone up, so it's less than 5.
I like his hand.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
a nice hand. I don't think she can call.
He's in the
but
cut-off, so he's seen most of the action already.
yes.
Ronda's ace 4, surprise, surprise, that ace 4 again. And she's having a
I
decision.
suppose it's a very small percentage of her stack.
Yeah, I mean, she's sitting on 600 plus, so. But she still does have blaster behind her. Okay, so we're having a bit of a shuffle around here in
Okay.
terms of personnel.
No, no. I wish I could do yours. I've got it until 6 weeks. Yeah, I've got a
And I think that might be Neil joining the feature table. Okay, so it looks like I've got tournament director Sam in at the moment behind me. We're just having a reshuffle of the tables. Are you going to pause the clock, Sam? Okay, so we're now breaking down the two tables. I think Eugene Duplessis will be also joining us on the feature table.
That'll be interesting to watch.
It's an education watching Eugene on the
It
feature
is.
table. Trust me. And we've had a couple of interesting sessions with Eugene this afternoon already. There was some controversy with chips not being in the right place, and
Oh, really?
being colour blind, and words were exchanged at the table, but it was all fair and love and war, and it's all been fixed up now. So,
Okay, good.
but you know, Eugene had a point, and I think it was just misunderstood what he was trying to get across. But you know, Eugene's a good guy, solid player,
He is.
and
He's
well respected.
methodical. He is methodical.
Almost mechanical, in fact.
Mechanical. You don't get one single read off him.
No, not at all. And, I mean, and that's why he's very successful. You
Yes.
know?
No, he's a very good player.
Yeah. And he looks after himself. You know, I tried to feed him a pie the other night. He's had
Not
none of
ahead
it.
of
He
me,
went
eh?
looking for health
Oh, the
shops.
rubbish you can't buy. Only the chips.
If that's what floats your boat, I
Yeah,
suppose. But
not
he,
really poker food.
No.
Open, open.
Okay,
Oh,
so
there's an all-in.
there's an
Cool.
all-in on a call here. Mr. Sun is calling with the 8-2. Suited, of course.
Of course. And there's the lucky Chinese 8.
That's it.
Flop.
So we're going to see a flop here. Tab will give us a nice little flop turn and river because it's good for TV. And there we go.
Okay, well, he's hit a 2. He's
And,
ahead.
and he's ahead with his 2.
Okay, turn.
It's a gift, you know that.
It is.
And there's the 10 for the spade flush draw that
And,
nobody's
we've
got. But there is now an up-down straight draw, which is the sweat, gives 12 ads.
Yeah.
Bang. 6-2 holds up. And we see the last of Tim. Whatever. Well done, Tim. It was nice seeing you play. Pity you couldn't last a bit longer.
Yes.
The
And
chip dogs.
enjoy the rest of your tournament, and we look forward to seeing you in the main event.
He'll be there for sure.
So there's going to be a bit of a reshuffle here while we get personnel sorted out. So it gives us a chance to chat a little bit, Lauren. So one of the questions I ask most of our commentary teams is what do you think of the evolution of the ante going from individuals to the button and now to the big blind?
I actually think it's very good, except when you're short-handed. Then it becomes
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Gary says
Big
Just ask my
disappointment.
technical guys to turn down the table mic, please. Guys, would you turn down the table mic or would you chat in? Thanks. Yeah, there we go.
I think it becomes a very big advantage when you're short-handed, because I understand from a time point of view it saves time.
Yeah.
But in the past, if you were 5-handed and you were putting in 100 ante, it was 500. Now you're putting in 1,000 ante as if there were 10 players,
Yeah.
but there are only 5.
So it
and the
becomes a
rotation's
little
quicker.
disadvantageous when
Absolutely
you're short-handed.
short-handed.
And I understand that, but I think the benefits of
Probably outweigh it.
outweigh
yeah.
with the time we save in terms of dealers having to collect them and the confusion, etc., etc. So it's a balance, isn't it?
It
Really?
is. And I just wonder also, does it make big blind make looser calls because they've invested double?
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah,
Which
I
it
think,
could do.
and I think every person who sat in that chair has had a similar opinion, which is good. So what it means to me is that it was a right decision, and the evolution from the button to the big blind was the right decision as well.
yes, well, there were always arguments about who didn't put in their ante.
Oh,
And
it
the
used to
dealer
drive
was
me
trying
mad.
to
I've
work
been
it
on
out.
tables where they've stopped the clock and got the camera, and it's
Yes.
been like $10.
It can get ridiculous.
You know, people get quite upset about it. You know,
Absolutely.
it's not good.
No.
And another question, I see you at some Monsterjam events. In fact, most of them. You know, what do you think Monsterjam are doing well? Because they're building their client base very, very quickly.
I think they're doing everything right, I have to say. It's so well organized. The dealers are professional. The structure of the tournaments are awesome.
Okay.
I don't see any room for improvement.
Okay, I've just got a message. 1 second, Lauren. A shout out to Cornel Duplessis or Dupree, the Scotland international rugby player, watching the live stream.
Oh, wow.
So that sounds like a South African Scotsman to me. And well, Cornel, you're watching the stream. Lovely to have you along. Maybe you're learning something. And good luck with the forthcoming World Cup. Hopefully you're selected for that squad and you make the trip to Japan. All the best to you, my friend. Yeah, and just getting back to the Monsterjam, I've got a lot of player profiles here.
Yes.
Structure, service, expertise. It's common well through, well organized.
Yes. I don't think
Structures,
anyone can say a bad thing.
service structure, organized. It's common threads all the way through. So Mark has got the formula right, I think.
Absolutely.
And he listens to people,
Yes.
and he does the fine tuning now. He doesn't just make radical changes. He actually does the fine tuning.
And because he's a poker player, he understands the structures and what works and what doesn't work. So
yeah, and I think you're right. I mean, and a very good poker player to
Yes.
boot, by the way. I mean,
Yes,
people don't
very
realise that
no, he's very good.
he's played in WSOP Europe at King's Casino down
Yeah.
there in Rosvadov.
Yeah.
He's been across to Las Vegas and played in the World Series. And, he's got some results,
He
And
has.
been a great ambassador for his own brand, but not only for his own brand, but for South Africa.
Yes.
So really, top man and, great guy to have at the helm with Monsterjam.
Absolutely.
All right, so we've got a new setup on the feature table now. So Rhonda's now in seat 1. No, that's a lie. This is the chip count. These aren't the things. So we'll pick up on the players as we go around.
There's Eugene, I think.
You can't miss Eugene's head.
No.
And
And his scarf.
yeah, and trust me, when he's in hand, the scarf will come up, the hand will come up, and he will
Yes.
assume the pose that we're all used to.
Look at the last hand.
So in seat 2, we've got Neil Jacobs now. Do you know Neil at all?
Not really, no.
He's a nice fellow. Plays
Where's he from?
I think he's Cape Townian. I'm not sure, but he does appear on our screen quite regularly. Taking Haggai's seat is Alvin
Yes.
Pillay, sorry. And
Very good player, too.
yeah, Alvin did some commentary with me down in the Wild Coast at our last stop, and I got to know him a little better than I do now.
Yes.
And a shy man, but a very, very good poker player.
Very good.
Enjoyed
Very
his
good.
company very, very much.
Yes.
And
A gentle soul, really.
yeah, I think that's a good description actually. A gentle soul,
Yeah.
a very good description.
Ray is
But
updating now.
he can be. He has no compassion on the poker table. He's
No.
brutal,
Oh, he
absolutely
is.
brutal. But that's what you
He's
need.
an
You need
aggressive
that.
player.
And of course, that's Eugene. And then we got Ray Adam and Lambo still in seat 7. Tim vacated seat 8. I don't know if we picked anybody up in seat 8. No, seat 8 and 9 are vacant.
Here
And
we go. There's the...
Rhonda's out on her side. This is the chip count, not the seat
Yes. You
allocation.
can see who's there.
And Rhonda's flying just above Neil. And Ray's got a nice chip stack there as well. And the Blaster's at the bottom with 6 bigs, so we'll expect some action from seat 1 very soon.
And Eugene also, not too big, 127.
Yeah, and that's below starting, which is unusual. He's
That is
obviously taken a
unusual.
hit somewhere.
He must have, because he was on about 800, I heard, at the break.
Yeah, so if we get a chance, we'll zoom in on our timing screen. These guys read my mind now. This is incredible. Huh? So we've got 17 players in out of the 53 entries. So we're now playing with 2 tables, and that's 8 and 7 respectively. Rhonda wakes up here with the 9-8 offsuit. That's a fold. The Blaster's folded already. So Neil's got the crabs, and he's off crab hunting.
Well, it's my second favourite pocket, that one.
I
love
remember you
it.
telling me that, and
Yes.
I was shocked at the time, and still
Yeah,
shocked now.
it is. Ah, there's one of his outs.
So he's looking for one. Mr. Sun gets rid of one of the crabs for him. Alvin's not interested with his 7-5, I'm pretty sure, in the cutoff.
No.
He'll just want to settle down and suss out the table. Eugene's
not
picked
good
up
enough.
Texas Dolly 10-2 off suit.
Oh, look, there's the ace ball.
And, you know, it wouldn't be the same without an ace 4.
No,
It
no.
just wouldn't be
Must
the
be
same.
there.
So we got 2 players to the flop. No,
No,
there's a fold
he
from
took it
Lambo.
down. Yes.
So it looks like your second favourite hand
Held up.
held up. Nice work.
Yeah.
Might have to add that one to my armour. Okay, so we're getting to the business end of the tournament now. And there's a few faces that we didn't expect to be here. I mean, the one in shot, Rhonda, for example.
Yes.
We've got an overhead view here, nice camera view. And we haven't seen Kenny on our feature table yet today.
No.
I think.
And look at his stack. He's got a stack.
Yeah, so
He's doing well.
we've missed Kenny. And we got Henny here. Divan has got a bit of a stack.
Can never count Divan out.
No, consummate professional.
Yeah.
Very good cash game player as well, of course.
Very good. And patience in tournaments. He can be patient. At the
Earlier
moment.
today, he was in Tumbleweed City. He just couldn't get cards. He wakes up with kings and gets
Yes,
thrashed.
I saw that.
Terrible. But, you know, that's poker. And he has to smile, tap the table and move on. And, of course, you know, what's meant to be will be, as they say.
And if you're professional, you don't let it get to you and you move on.
That's it. And that's the MO, isn't it?
Yes.
That's the way he operates. So what's Ray got here? The sensors haven't picked up his cards yet, but we'll get to see shortly, I'm sure. I must just say, it's never deliberate with the guys.
No.
These things are so sensitive. It only takes a couple of centimeters to be out, and it's a problem. We don't pick it up. So we've got an
Oh,
all-in from
Daniel's
Lambo
all in.
here. So we're sweating with Lambo now. So we don't know what Ray's
we don't
got.
know.
We don't know what Ray's got. I mean, Rhonda's going to have a little bit of TV time, and they'll go in the muck. And Ray Adam has got King Queen, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to see this called off.
Can you see?
Yes.
Can you see them? Yeah. That's still true. Oh, okay.
So Ray's thinking about it. I mean, he's got half a million stacked there.
Look, I would prefer King Queen to Ace 8, personally.
It looks to me like he's folding that. And I think Lambo's going to just sigh a little breath of relief
Yes.
there and drag that pot in.
Well, I guess they're under pressure, the bottom ones. They need to start pushing and
Absolutely.
taking the blinds are big enough to take.
100%. You know, and we know Lambo means business. He's got the shades on.
Absolutely.
He's got his game face on there. Neil takes the lead just above Rhonda there. And, you know, I'm looking at the time now. It's 10:30. The blinds are going up quite rapid. We've got relatively short stacks. There's a few of them around.
Well, the blinds are 30,000 a rotation, so
Yeah, it's not a cheap
you know, for
game.
the small stacks, it's almost a double up.
Oh, there you go. There's the blinds. It's actually 612 with a 12 ante now,
okay.
so significant increase. We've picked that up on our feed now, the 612 blinds with the ante. And I'm pretty sure Neil under the gun's not going anywhere with this Jack 5. No, they're going in the muck. Mr. Sun. Who's got the ace 4 this hand? It's like a lottery.
Maybe Eugene.
Ace
No,
6.
Ace 6.
He's got an upgrade. So Eugene's only got 127.
Yes,
He's in the hijack leg position, and Eugene's very considered. Can he steal the blinds from there?
I think he
And
can.
He's going to shove, I think.
Well, he
and
is gonna shove.
There goes the baby goes in with the bathwater.
Oh,
So
okay.
Ray Adams got pocket sixes. I don't think Ray gets away from this.
Yes. I don't think he needs
But,
to
I
risk
mean,
his stack.
He's just folded the king queen, open folded.
Yeah, so he may not get away with it. He may think, no, it's time to call now.
Well, you would think so. I mean, the Lambo with the shades on after him, looking pretty intense. I mean, I cannot believe he's just folded a pocket pair there. But you know,
I suppose,
who knows what he's thinking?
you know, he's probably thinking he doesn't need to get involved. He's got 500,000.
We've got an ace 6 and an ace 5. I mean, we're just missing the ace 4 now. And Schumann's got the computer hand queen 7, so I don't know what
Probably
he's
the
thinking
burn
about.
cards.
Yeah.
The ace falls in the burn cards.
There you go. And you know, you're giving someone like Eugene Duplessis chips
Chances.
for free.
No.
Absolutely not. You know, and I'm surprised he didn't get called off there. But you know, who knows what he's thinking? Maybe he's seen a few ghosts. He doesn't like playing against Eugene. Maybe
I'm sure he's thinking at best he's racing, at best.
Yeah.
And why get involved with a stack of 500 for 25% of your stack?
I think that's a fair
I think I'd fold there too.
Yeah. I'm getting compliments from Moon Khan online, so I have to reply to him.
Oh, what's he saying?
He's just telling me how wonderful I am.
Oh. Is he coming down?
I don't think so, no. But big shout out for Moon, good friend of mine, always a gentleman, big cash game player.
Yes.
And you know, if you're in a game with Moon, you know there's going to be action.
Oh, there's always going to be action.
Yeah.
And he will not lay his favourite hand down.
Indeed, he's a bit of a case.
Yes.
I actually played with his brother the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know, chalk and cheese, you know. You know, I know he's the Moon. This guy could be something on another planet because he's certainly not anything like his brother. Come on, Ray, let's see some chips go in here.
Yes. That's a nice hand.
You can't fold your way to the title, buddy.
No.
So Blaster's got the ace-8. He's got like, you know,
He's
three
got 46k.
three
He's
and a
got
bit
to
big
push
blinds. I mean, the money's got to go in
It's
here with
gotta
the
go
ace. Come on, Blaster, get your money in. You're almost slow rolling the No, what is wrong with you, Shawnee? You're in the small blind. He's got the button coming. He's going to get some free looks. That's the only reason he gets away with that fold. Otherwise, we're going to give you some carrots. And, you know, hindsight, ace-queen suited, very pretty hand. He would have got looked up for sure, and he was probably behind. So what do we know, Lauren?
You know,
that's why we're sat here.
I always say going with ace rag is not always the best idea because chances are you running into a bigger ace. I'd rather go with a suited connector, have live cards.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
An ace rag for me is the worst thing to shove with.
Yeah. So Neil is not thinking about shall I call here. He's thinking about how much he should raise.
Yes.
He's got to be. You know.
And
So
they're two decent stacks.
yeah, raise to 30. I mean, that's not a raise on this
No.
table. I'm sorry. You know, Neil at worst is smooth calling here, but I'd like to see a raise. Yeah, there we go. Seems to greed chips in the middle. Let's see a bit of action. You know, my money's on Ray folding here.
I think so.
You know why? Because of the history we've got with him already.
Yes.
He just seems to be protecting that stack, and that's going to be your downfall, my
It
friend.
will
You've
be.
got to
You've
play
gotta-
some hands.
You've got to build your chip stack. The blinds are going to catch.
And we don't mean this as any criticism.
No.
What we're doing is making observation as poker players and what we think we should be doing. It's never a criticism of the players. They're the guys out there. They're the people risking their reputations and their money. And, you know, if we were that good, we'd be sat there and they'd be sat in here, wouldn't
Exactly.
they? So, you know,
No.
no criticism of Ray here or Neil.
No. Just every player in general, I think, needs to concentrate on building that chip stack as the blinds get higher.
And, you know, for me, you know, given the action, I think that's a little bit of a weak fold. But who knows what's going on inside Ray's head, you know?
I'll shove him with I say it, I was just going to shove him.
So it's a gain of 36,000 for Neil. And that's going to, well, it's just going to strengthen his position, you know. It's 300 short of the million now. Ronda's there with 20% of the chips. And, of course, the Blaster's at the bottom with 3 bigs. And Eugene, you know, 13 bigs. He's in the danger zone now. So
But
he's
you
got to
can never
start making
count
some
him
moves.
out. Never count him out.
No, not at all.
No.
And there's the second table now. So that's marionettes, and this is Aston. We've got Henny, Sean, Gareth, Uncle Harold, Rudolph, and Kenny, and Divan is the last player at that table. So a real good,
strong field
of South African pros there as well.
Be interesting to know who's chip leader.
They would. We don't get chip counts from the other tables, unfortunately, but we can send one of our spies off. They're going to have a look later, I'm sure, just to get a little take on that.
There's a nice hand for Eugene.
Yeah, and that's a shipping hand for Eugene. I mean, he's under the gun +1. It's a bit early, but he might just elect to raise here rather than commit his whole stack in case a monster creeps up on him from his left. So he's having a little count up here, thinking, what, you know, in terms of percentage of my chips, what am I going to do here?
Yes.
And you're right, there it goes. It's all in. And ace-8 suited is a good hand. He's already knows that Ray's given up his cards very easily to his left, so he's counted him out of the equation.
He's just got to hope not to run into a big ace.
Ronda is the unknown quantity
Ronda
here.
is.
And of course, if it gets round a Blaster, I mean, you know, he's very, very short and looking for a spot. And he gets it through. And, you know, Eugene gets more chips. That's a gain of 30,000.
Well, he's just fortunate there wasn't a bigger ace, because that's calling him, I think.
Oh. You know, we haven't got a lot of callers on this table.
No.
You know?
Ronda, maybe.
Yeah, you know.
With the bigger ace.
Indeed.
Because she has the stack as well.
Yeah, so we're 35 minutes into level 2. And so sorry, 25 minutes I suppose, 34 minutes 53 seconds to go
Till the break.
to the break. We've got some creaking doors in here somewhere, or otherwise we've got a ghost somewhere, I don't know. And maybe the wind's picked up outside and we've got something creaking around. So, you know, just for our viewers at home, just so you know, we're in a secure area. We are buffering our commentary, and the buffering is then released a half an hour later to protect the integrity of the game. So if you see people watching the stream, they're actually seeing it half an hour later than we produce it. And as you know, Lauren, you can't bring any mobile phones in here or
No.
electrical devices to communicate
And
with
I
people.
understand why.
Yeah, of course, you know,
Yes.
and it's not just the integrity of the game, it's the reputation of the individuals in here, and of course, more importantly, the reputation of the Monsterjam Poker Tour people.
Absolutely.
You know, and you know, we've been asked a lot of questions about the security here, so people are interested in our security provisions and how we keep the integrity of the game safe. And you know, we brought people back here to have a look. There's no reason why people don't come and have a look.
No,
you know,
there's nothing to hide.
Indeed, and there's nothing secret or magical.
No.
But we won't do it during our live commentary, obviously.
Yes.
But during the breaks, if somebody wants to come and have a look, they're more than welcome to come and chat to our technical guys who will show them how the software works and stuff like that. And it's all in education, you know. And for us, it's about putting the word out, about getting people interested in the game of poker.
Yes.
And you know, Mark was in there earlier, and you know, one of the you know, the side sort of benefits is the amount of people that are watching on the stream who aren't poker players, who are potentially going to be poker players.
Yes.
And that's why we try to keep the stream and the commentary at a quite a low level. You know, when we're on the final table, the high roller, and I've got Gerald Solomon in here, or Darren Kramer or something like
Yes.
that, maybe we'll get
Get
a little bit more
technical.
technical, you know. But, you know, for example, Rhonda's got like 20 people watching in Edmonton, most of which don't even play poker.
Yeah.
You know, but it's nice to keep it simple for them as well, you know.
I think so.
And you know, let everybody have some enjoyment from this, you know.
It's great that we've got something in South Africa now.
Yeah, I see Sandy Kaur's just joined our stream. You know Sandy? He
Yes.
went off to open a pie shop. I think he was successful in that.
Oh,
He-
really?
Yeah, and I think there's some horses involved somewhere in the background. And I believe that he went to Israel to play in an Israeli golf tournament or something not so
Oh,
long
wow.
ago. So
So
we
is he not playing poker anymore?
I think he's in and out on the poker. We've not seen him on any of the regular tour events, but a big shout out to Sandy. You're missed, and we'd like to see you back with us at some stage. And always nice to see you up on the stream there, listening and taking an interest in what's going on in the poker world. And we wish you well, and hope you and your family are well as well. Okay, back to our feature table. Blaster's on 3 bigs. He's got a problem.
He's got to move it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the button's just gone past him. The button's sitting up at the top of the table.
Yes.
Doesn't look like any movement over here. It looks like Aston's watching the stream. And Nick, who's obviously out but still holding court.
Nick was actually on my table in the 6 max.
Yeah, he was out, and he didn't go out on the feature table, but he doubled up 3 times from nothing,
Oh, really?
which was quite entertaining. We
Shame.
actually thought he was going to make a run with the chip and the chair, you know.
Yes.
So Lambo's got under the gun Jack 4. I think they'll go in the muck. You can see he's a bit frustrated, but he'll keep it straight.
Oh,
you
he
know.
can keep it cool.
Yeah.
I've played with him a lot. There's an all in.
So there we go, 9-10.
That's my favourite hand.
The Blaster is all in. With Lauren's favourite hand. So you've got a fan there, Sean.
Yes. Not suited though, but
Oh, listen,
still
you
my
can't have it
favourite
all.
hand.
You can't have it all.
No,
There's ace-3, not quite
It's-
ace-4, but
no.
I think Olvin's going to pick him off with that.
but it is suited. I think so.
46,000.
Olvin's on the button, so he's got position. But of course, what he's got to worry about is he's got Eugene next to him.
Yes.
And you know, Eugene is not. In fact, there you go. He's having a look at Eugene's stack. Just you
He's
know,
not so big himself.
yeah. Looking for a tell on Eugene. Eugene's giving nothing away as usual.
If there's one player that gives nothing away, it's Eugene.
Yeah.
I think we could definitely make more interest.
You know, and Olvin doesn't want to raise to isolate here.
Play the
No.
delay.
So and Eugene's got calling cards here.
Play you two
Oh, that he does.
and let us watch
He
us.
might even shove here just to isolate.
Yes.
Your ace 4 spades.
Absolutely.
I don't want to be playing those cards against too many players. So, yeah, my money's on the shove here.
It's a shove or a fold, I think.
One break and 1 more hour, and that'll be the end of your night, and you will return tomorrow at 11 a.m. 11 a.m. tomorrow, we'll send you to bed.
Yes, there we go. It's a shove.
Vale.
Okay, cards on the back. Player at risk is the Blaster, Sean Schumann, our PE representative. I'm not rooting for either player, but I do like to see the PE guys do well.
There go.
Okay, there's the 10. There's the 10. So, you know, we're looking for a king or a queen here, or a jack, of course, for the straight. Brings an 8. So, no flush possibilities here. And does the river bring us a sick one?
Yes.
8, 9, 10, jack, queen.
My favourite hand. Hold up.
Beautiful. Very nice.
So then Eugene doesn't call, but so you still only get one number.
Of course, there's no jack there, so I'm talking absolute rubbish.
The
And,
ace-3 of spades was looking good on the turn.
yeah, for sure. So the Blaster survives.
Yep.
And Eugene has to pay him off. The good news is a very small amount, and Eugene is now level with 9 bigs at the bottom of the pile with Sean. But he's still alive.
And you can't count him out.
No, of course not.
Never.
Rhonda's been very quiet.
She has. I
We've
think
not
she's
heard from her. Maybe she's getting some intel back from Edmonton.
or maybe she's hit her target to now tighten up.
Maybe she's just shop closed.
Yes.
Final table time, she'll open the doors again.
Absolutely, maybe.
And people do
Or
that,
after
eh?
the break.
Yeah, blind, 6-12.
Be nice to see the stacks here.
Yeah, Rudolph looks like he's healthy, and so does Kenny, from where we're sitting.
Kenny's healthy.
And Gareth wasn't actually smiling very much.
No,
It didn't look
I
like a
didn't-
lot of chips
no,
there.
it didn't.
Gareth was my pick for this, huh?
Gareth's an awesome player. And a lovely guy.
Yeah, super. I met his wife for the first time the other day.
Oh, did you?
I've forgotten her name, forgive me for that. But absolutely charming. I mean,
Yes.
recently married.
Yes.
And, you know, just a really nice couple. I mean, I always say to Gareth, he's the nicest Scotsman I know.
Yes. I always say to him, he reminds me of my son. He could be one of my sons.
Okay, we're not going to
He's a little bit too old to be
I'm
one of
gonna
my
say
sons,
he's
I'll just mention.
definitely
but
too old. Definitely. I mean,
yes.
goodness me,
No,
Lauren.
he's a great guy.
You know. I'm not going to let on how old you are, but it's in your 30s, eh?
Somewhere around there.
There you go. Us 30-somethings are going to stick together.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not including the VAT or taxes there, are we?
No, no.
We're just going straight in a Costa. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
We're going backwards, maybe.
Oh, dear. As my granddaughter said, I'd explain middle age to her. So she said, if you're middle aged, you're going to be like 120 then when you die. I said, you're a charmer, you.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Yeah. I've just disowned you. Okay, that's a nice shot we're getting there over the table. I mean,
Yes,
this is
now we
Gareth
can
up
see
here.
the
So
stats.
Gareth is on
Yes,
fumes.
he's
We'll
short.
just hold the shot for a while.
Devon's average-ish.
Kenny's holding a monster over here,
Yeah,
and
who's that?
this is Henny. And
And
this is Neil. This is Sean Govender over here.
okay.
Sean, and this stack down here, belonging to
Mariette.
Mariette, is also
Yeah.
quite healthy. So Gareth, Gareth looks like the shorty here. So that was a nice shot, guys. Thanks for moving the camera for us.
Yes. That
Ace
does
Jack
help.
here, blasters all in. There we go.
Okay.
Triangle of death. He's under the gun all in, so you know he's got to get a through.
At
through
least
a
it's
few.
a decent ace.
Yeah, for sure. Olvinson's in the muck already. Eugene gets rid of his. That's a fold. That's a fold. Ace 8 suited, Ray Adam. Ray's not been calling anything here, so
No.
I don't see him calling this off. And Rhonda, Queen Jack. No, she might get a bit stubborn here.
She may do.
Let's see if the shop really is closed.
Because suited, I think she's calling.
Yeah. Blaster's on the shots here. I think he's already on his way out the door.
Oh, okay, so he's already having a party.
Yeah, but he doesn't need an excuse.
No.
He's enjoying himself.
Yes.
You know, and you know, our viewers out there, if you're underage or overage, you know, sensible drinking is encouraged, of course. We're not advocating you to be drinking shots at a poker table.
No, but the one thing the poker players do know how to do is party.
Indeed, they do. They do know how to party.
Well, all the jacks are gone because I saw 2 more folded.
Okay, so
Anymore. Listen, I've seen you do some dodgy shit with me.
Rhonda will be looking for straights and queens here.
She's folding.
Gets out, and Blaster gets it through. Profits another 30k. Actually, that 30k has got to be more than that. I just we checked that our blinds are at the right level on the software. Okay, so
Yeah, I think it is 30k. I think it's 12, 12, and 6.
okay, yeah, it does. It is 30k. You're absolutely right. There we go. Just to prove that they have got the blinds right. 6, 12, 12 on the big blind. And so the Blaster moves off the bottom. Not quite blast off, but he has blasted off the bottom.
It's the start.
And Eugene is our shorty at the table.
Yes, he's under pressure. Less than 10 big blinds.
And we got the button on Lambo at the moment, so that means that the Blaster's in the big blind. So he's putting in a fair proportion. And Neil's first to act. Queen 5, I think, has gone in the rubbish.
Yep.
Mr. Sun with the ace 8.
Gone.
Surprisingly, but in early position. Alvin's
It's not
gonna-
ace 4.
Yeah, Alvin's not going to hang around with this rubbish.
No.
That's for sure. And
He's
he's got a
gone.
reasonable size stack. He's just going to sort of tread water for a little while. King
Eugene's
4.
gone.
Yeah, I don't think Eugene's getting involved here.
Okay, raise.
Okay, no, I don't. You know, Ray's pretty difficult to read here
Yes,
because
because he folded a monster before.
I know he's raising in the cutoff.
I suppose he likes to be the aggressor.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, Lambo gets rid of it, and you know the 2 after him fold as well, so he gets it through.
Yes.
But you know, perhaps that sort of tight image, you know, disciplined fold is having an effect on the other players. You know, they're scared to be calling him. If he's raising, he's got to have something, you know.
Absolutely.
And well, you and I know his secret. He didn't have a lot. You know, but he wasn't a cut-off, so fairly late position, maybe sense a bit of weakness there, and
Yes.
you know, standard but stealing on the blinds.
The interesting thing is when it's 10 big blinds in this tournament, it's so not 10 big blinds with the ante, the big blind
It's
ante.
5 big blinds.
Yes, so you really are in desperate stakes.
Yeah, and that's where the big blind measure goes out the window when the big blind ante's in play.
Absolutely.
It's actually a
very
50%
deceiving.
representation that
Yeah.
you're looking for, not 100%. So we're flicking between tables here. So you know, if we're going to flick between tables, let's just stay on the table just for a couple of
I think
minutes
there
so
was
we
an
can
all-in.
catch up.
Yes, I think there was an all-in on the other table.
Yeah, so let's just flick back to the other table and just stay there for a minute or so. You see, my tech team have broken it now. So pocket 7s for Ray. He's raised to 30,000. Daniel with the ace 5 folds. 4-3, Neil's going to fold. Shu's going to fold as well. Looks like Rhonda's found a new toy. Oh, here we go. We're back to the other table. Forget the graphics, our viewers. This is the other table, the outer table. We're just having a quick look. Looks like Marionette has
big
made a
pot.
raise. And it looks like Sean has called. As I say,
Back to the feature table. 7s and 3, 4.
50,000. Is that bet? Fold.
he folds and gets away from it. Okay. So we apologise to the guys out there who are following the other table. If we can flick back there, maybe we'll get a shot of what happened at the end of that hand. And yeah, just as the ship in the chips across the Marionette here. So it looks like Sean took a bit of a hit there. And you know, the button is, I can't see, but it looks like one, here's the button here on
Yes.
Kenny. So
she's
Gareth's got a bit of time, and Marionette is now in the big blind here. So we'll leave the table alone for a little while.
Yes.
Gareth is the shorty. Looks like Sean took a bit of a hit there, so he's looking to make a few moves. And I think that looks like Uncle Harold there next to Gareth, who's also going to have to make a move soon.
Well, I think Gareth's got a few hands and he's got to go in.
Yeah, I mean, he's in full focus mode here.
Yes.
So, thank you, tech team, for the outer team, the outer table. Let's get back to our feature table. Thank you.
Alvin, you know how he got involved? They were drinking one day. Him and Squeaky Butter. Squeaky Butter, the jockey. And my dad.
It's a folding fest.
It's amazing as a player, you actually get to see here how many non-playable hands are actually dealt.
That's unbelievable.
I always take it personally and think it's me that I'm playing, but actually most of them are unplayable.
We bring you in here to reset your compass, you know that.
Yes, I'll go out and play the main event in a different fashion.
So Mr. Sun with his Jack 7 is looking pretty comfortable with
Yes.
93% equity to win
Very
the
nice,
hand here.
he's hit trips.
And I think this is a bet fold and that'll be the end of it. Okay, no, it's getting stubborn.
No.
Straight possibilities on the board now. And of course, you know, Neil's got 2 pair here, so that's why he's getting a bit stubborn. And Neil doesn't believe him, man.
No. You see, he bet the flop, and that is quite deceiving when you've got trips.
Yeah, for sure. So the river doesn't bring any help, and Mr. Sun's got a lock on the hand. I can't believe that went check, check.
I can't either.
What was Mr. Sun doing?
Worrying about a full house, maybe, or a straight.
Well, it is a paired board, but you know he's got the jack.
Maybe he's worried about a straight.
Well,
The turn did bring a straight.
yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But the rate at which it was folded, there was no consideration whatsoever. So we've got 18 minutes to run on the level, and then I think the players are going to get like a 10 or 15 minute break. And I believe Mark said there's going to be one more level after this, if I'm right.
Yes,
I'm not
I think
sure.
that's what he said. I did
It's just come out for 11 o'clock, and I have got a schedule here somewhere which I'll try and dig out at the moment. And, in fact, I'm writing on the back of the schedule what's new. Day 3 of the Grand Slam, day 2. And it's programmed to finish around midnight, so we shall see. I think it's a case of who gets the. We get to a final table is probably going to drive
I think
it.
he did say we'd play one more. We'll be able to play one more level and then start again at 11.
Yeah, I think you're right. So they'll take a short break, come back for an hour, and then we'll bag and tag, and we'll head off to our beds, the privé, the bar, or wherever our fancy takes us. I know where I'm going. I'm taking my strepsils and my med lemon.
Are you not feeling well?
I'm not a bit groggy today.
You know, a lot of people are feeling that way.
Yeah, I must thank Dave De Beer who did a sterling job going out and getting some Sinutab for me, and the sound of strepsils.
You should have just asked me because I've got all these things on hand.
See, you ladies are so efficient.
Yes.
I mean, my wife's not with me, so I didn't. Well, I brought the vitamins and stuff, but let's just say Shelley's handbag isn't here.
I've generally got something for all ailments.
Oh my word. Dr. Scott.
Yes. Dr. Laurentian, some of my friends use.
Laurentian. And just a reminder to our viewers, got the lovely Lauren Scott sat next to me, a very accomplished poker player. And it's a real pleasure to have her in the booth with us today, giving her insight into the hands. And
it's lovely to be here.
And also getting an insight from the other side as well, of course.
Absolutely. It's very interesting.
Yeah. You know, Olvin's got the ace-8 suited here. Mr. Sun is in the small blind with the option. And we've already had a flop of Jack 6-2. And Olvin's got the best of it with the ace high, of course.
Yes.
But, you know, he can easily fold here.
And he does.
And he does fold.
Well played.
Mr. Sun was going to show him his cards there, and he does show him his cards. So Olvin won't be overly impressed that he got folded there. But he'll just store that away in the memory banks. It's not about revenge, it's about information.
No, and sometimes it's about setting the next player up for something.
Yeah, indeed.
Twice the work. You cannot give me in one hand.
I was playing a game the other day, and a player who remained nameless rather than put it out on the air. I said, I don't normally have lists of people I'm after. He said, but you are my list. I said, what did I said, what did I do? He said, I can never win a hand off you. I said, well, don't play then. You know, give me your chips
Stay
and
out
go
of my
home.
way.
Yeah, just keep out of my way. He said, I'm trying. He said, you are my list.
Oh.
I said, I
It
don't know if I
seems
should be
everyone
flattered.
has a nemesis out there.
Yeah, I've got a few.
Yes, I have too.
You better not.
And we all know you don't like to sit in seat number 6.
No,
But you seem to win from there, so why not? It's just your
I
thing,
generally
suppose.
don't.
I just should mention for the people out there, I did give you all my chips in the free roll.
You did.
Yeah, I tried to pull a move and
You
this
did.
lady sniffed it out, but you did have a strong hand, 2
What
pair.
did I have? 2 pair.
You had
Yes.
2 pair. I mean, a bit too strong to fold. I mean, my story made sense, but the pot was too big to fold.
I think so.
And
And the 2 pair, I
also,
think they were top 2.
Yeah, and
I'm
you
not
also,
mistaken.
you know, by calling, if you'd have lost, you still had chips to play. So that also was a consideration, I'm sure.
Yes.
And you did me a favour. I got to get an hour's sleep before I came back to commentary, which was good. And as I say, it was the free roll. We were having a bit of fun.
Well, I put your chips to good use in the end.
Indeed.
Snap, snap, snap.
It makes you feel better.
Oh no, I'm happy they went to a good home. Don't want to give them to people I don't know.
Yes. No, that's always the case.
You know, I can always ask for the favour back at some stage in the future.
I'm not happy that he called. Can I get some ones there?
I was talking to you.
Okay.
No, what's taking you? I want to see how you survive going to the townships. If you get 200 rand out and fucking, can I get some ones? I'll give you a fucking smack.
I thought we had a new person on the stream, but we haven't. It's an old message. Okay, hand 197 for the day. I remember amounts in 50 and 100. So we're on hand 197 for the day.
Wow. And Roger's got Queen 10.
Oh,
King
maybe
10.
she'll wake
King
up
10.
now. Maybe she's
No,
going to wake up.
she's
No,
still
those
playing tight.
doors are closed.
Closed. She's waiting for final table.
Yeah, that's strange. She's really put the brakes on, huh?
Come on, my bro.
The spaceship.
I don't know how many. Gideon, can I get 30? Can I get 30? Tequilas.
Oh, wow.
Can I
30
get
tequilas.
30 tequilas?
30 tequilas. Someone
So
needs a hospital.
the blaster is talking to Gideon Sheepers, who's his partner in crime. And Gideon's an attorney at law, so he's
Yes,
the
I know
sensible
Gideon.
one.
Yes.
He's the sensible one.
Yeah.
But
30 tequilas. He may
at
end
least
up
he asked
in-
permission.
Yeah. This is
maybe
good.
maybe it's a company thing. I don't know. Can I get 30 tequila? By the way, I mean,
On
just
the
tell
company account.
the fans out there, it's not unusual for Blaster to order 30 tequilas. This is quite normal.
No. Look, we have it all in.
There we go. So Eugene with the ace-3 and the king-queen suited of diamonds. Pretty cards.
Yes. So Eugene's
So
ahead.
let's, I think Tabo's our dealer, so we're going to get a nice slow one, 7-2-10. So no
Doesn't
real
help.
help there. The ace is still ahead. There's always a sweater.
There is always a
Any
sweat.
jack. Any jack.
Any jack and queen or king.
That's it.
No.
Boom.
And Eugene doubles up.
Don't give that man chips.
Now they're in trouble.
We don't mean any offense to Eugene, of course, and we're just actually respecting the fact that he's got the ability to win from anywhere. He is that good
and
a
look,
player.
he's gone up a lot.
He's climbing the ladder.
Yep.
And you know, folks, when you see this guy getting chips, be afraid and be very afraid, because Eugene can play,
He can play.
you know, and he commands respect when he sits at the table. And you know, he could easily have lost that flip. We all know that.
Yes.
But
But
he didn't.
he did put his money in ahead.
Yeah, he put his money in ahead. He got it in good, and he won the flip.
Yep.
Doubles it up, and now he's got a few soldiers. He can take some deep breaths, and he can just take his foot off the gas for a little bit. But trust me, if he's got the ammunition, he's going to fire.
And he was down to 100 and something. And now he should be on about 500. 590, 570. Oh no, that's
No,
Ronda.
it's Ronda. No. I think he's 200 plus for sure. So hand number 198 coming up. Blinds at 600, 6,000, 12,000 with 12,000 with big blind empty.
Oh, that 200 that was displayed was at his double up already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Lambo's in the big blind and Rhonda's under the gun.
She's going to fold
So
back for
Eugene's
sure.
on the button, so he's getting a few looks for free now as well. He's got a bit of breathing space. So. And tequila's incoming.
Here we go.
The only good news is I don't have to pay his bar bill.
No, I think Gideon might.
So King 10 raised to 30,000. Mr. Sun with Ace Jack is going to snap this off. It wouldn't surprise me to see a re-raise or even a shove here. Mr. Sun doesn't mind either of those.
Yes.
And they're both in his range. I mean, looks like it's going to be a re-raise. I wasn't. There you go. What do I know about poker? He's just smoothing there.
I really don't.
And Alvin's woke up with a bit of paint here as well. Maybe he'll fancy a smooth call as well.
Yes.
And of course, smooth call, Eugene Duplessis with a squeeze play.
Oh, probably anything there he can squeeze play.
Let's see. I mean, Eugene's been quite chatty here, so don't know what he's got yet, and we're going to find out shortly. So that's a call. And I don't think they're squeezing cards, but let me tell you.
Call. He's folding.
Interesting.
I'm surprised.
Ray with
I
the
suppose
ace
he has to
nine folds.
conserve his chips.
So Daniel has got 7-4 suited. Daniel's thinking about a move here. 171,000.
And he would get away with it, I think.
He's got to get through another 3 players. So yeah, difficult one. He didn't really have a strong hand. He probably had live cards, and we know. Well, he know we did.
No, it would be a move. But I don't know. All in, I don't know if anyone calls.
No.
Oh look, he would have hit trips.
Yeah. He's just kicking himself under the table.
Make that move.
Yeah.
He's saying.
That is 60,000.
I had a feeling, and I didn't follow my gut.
The gut often comes.
And nobody puts you on a 4 there, of course.
No,
nobody. And the rest of these guys are just splashing around. You know, this is a gunshot. You know, anybody who fires is going to get away with this.
Absolutely. Look, he's bet 60.
I don't know what Mr. Sun's thinking about here. Oh, he's just counting chips. It's Alvin. Sun's already out of the hand. Yeah, and he gets away with it.
Did you hear him?
Yeah. We won't repeat that.
No, we won't. But he's not happy with himself. He wanted to go all in, I think, and squeeze.
Yeah. You missed your chance, buddy.
Yep.
So I don't know how long we got to go on the level now. I wasn't really keeping count.
Can't be too long.
No, I think it's we were 18 minutes last time we had a look, so we're probably near to 10 minutes now.
No, it's just, you know, like, call, and you're like, okay, now I'm really getting a prize, but it's not a possible play.
The technical team are just zooming in and counting tequilas, but we're not going to put that on air. Suffice to say, Blaster has got a rather large tray of alcohol. But
the technical team probably would like one.
I mean, it probably would.
But they may not see straight.
They won't be able to drive the machinery when they come back in. So, and once again, just for the viewers out there, we're not suggesting for 1 minute it's good fun to drink tequila. And you know, sensible drinking is encouraged, and please don't drink and drive. You know, it's not a smart idea.
No.
You know, please enjoy yourself, and we're all here to enjoy ourselves within moderation. But you know, just take it easy when you can.
12,000.
So Neil calls off the 12,000 here. Smooth calls from under the gun +1. Mr. Sun is folding pocket 5s. I have no idea.
Called, I think.
No, his cards are just, he folded.
Oh, it says call. Okay. It's a computer error.
Computer error. He did fold. His cards went across the table. Alvin with 7-6 and a hijack. I don't know what he's thinking about. He's thinking maybe I'll exploit my reputation. Don't forget you got Mr. Duplessis on your left. 7-6 in the hijack. He's making a move here, and you know.
Raise up to 42,000.
32. Eugene gets out of the way quick.
Yes.
What he would do with 5-4.
Nothing. No.
Queen 4.
4's gone.
Yep.
He's a woman.
7-3. Queen Jack for Ronda.
No.
Doors closed.
Doors closed. Final table.
If she starts spinning the cards, then we'll know. I think she's got a bit of a tell. When she starts spinning them,
Yeah, she's going to call.
nope. There you go. They're in the muck.
It was the best night ever.
Neil Jacobs with the King Queen.
I think he must fold here.
Yeah. And Olvin's reputation earns him a few chips there.
It's well played.
Indeed, very well played. So Eugene's got 258,000. That's 9% of the chips in play. Daniel's dropped down to the bottom two with 13 bigs. It looks like Gareth's made some chips over there.
Oh, yes.
Looks like he's made
Unless he got change.
that's
Because he
quite
did
possible.
have a green chip.
Yeah, quite
He
possible.
might have got change.
And Uncle Harold's green chips are actually in the field of play. I hope he gets rid of pulls them back a bit.
Yes.
Mind you, having said that, Rudolph's chips are all in play at the moment. Yeah, Kenny has not seen a feature table yet, which is quite interesting. I think he's the only one we haven't seen. And, you know, and not by design, I might add.
How
It's
is
a
that
random
possible
draw.
as the tables move together?
No idea.
He must have got moved maybe and then
When
missed
it was his turn to come on,
Yes.
he might have been
Probably
the
got
big blind and
moved,
moved on to
yeah.
another table.
There's pocket fours.
So Neil's under the gun with the pocket fours. I mean, you know,
It's not my mates right now.
it's such a small pair, and you've got so many people short stacked here. You know, it's difficult. I mean,
It is
he's raised it
difficult.
up to 30,000, so let's see what happens.
Oh, ace jack here. He's going to get a pull maybe.
I think Eugene shoves here.
I must say pocket
got to
fours is
exploit.
my unlucky pocket.
Yeah, I mean, Eugene's got to exploit his fold equity. I mean, I'm looking for a big raise at a minimum here.
Yes, I think so.
You know, Neil's been pretty well behaved, so maybe we'll just see a raise here, and you know, Eugene's going to try and find out where he is. So if he's going to raise, I mean, I like the sizing to be around 60,000, which is the pot
Yes.
size bet.
On the other hand, he can't afford to just lead chips, so he may fold this in fear of a bigger ace.
I don't think he's folding. I mean, I don't think Eugene's got many tells, but when he thinks about it for a long time,
Okay, he's shoving.
yeah,
You're right.
we were right the first time.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's got huge amount of fold equity, huge.
Yes,
And unless
has.
Neil sat there with a monster,
he can't call
he
it.
can't call. And if he was sat there with a monster, his chips would have been across the line already. And that's
Oh,
how
yes.
Eugene's thinking has gone.
Yes.
You know, Rhonda's shop is closed even for 6-2. Blaster's not calling with 3-4, that's for sure. And the original Razor is going to give up his 30k and they're going in the muck. He's not going to get too sticky with pocket fours. And the rich get richer.
Okay, then start.
60k, nice little pot.
Yeah, that's, you know, and those little pots mount up after
Oh,
a
they
while.
do.
You know? And he wasn't
It's,
stealing
o-
there, he
it's
had the
only
best
2
hand.
rotations, mind
Yeah,
you.
he had the best
60K.
hand.
He did.
Yes, my boy.
So 2 minutes 40 on the level.
So he probably got 2 hands at best.
Yeah, and the antes are going to go at 8,000, 16,000 with the 16,000 big blind.
It's going to get heavy now.
Yeah, and for the players who are shorter stacked, it becomes a bit of a crapshoot. You know, you're almost forced to put your chips
You
in.
are.
You know? And you've been in that
Especially-
situation.
Yes,
you
I
know
have.
the story.
I know. Especially with the big blind ante, it puts so much pressure on you.
Yeah,
Too small.
indeed.
You're on a fee.
Small blind. I'll spot. Small blind.
So Holloway Sun's got the 2 lucky Chinese cards.
Talk about the ultimate getting caught.
It must be. It's worthy of note. We just mentioned the lucky cards. Mr. Sun is a very accomplished player, and he's not superstitious
No,
in
no.
any way whatsoever.
You're not going to play your lucky cards at this.
Yeah, we make
level.
reference to him with the greatest respect. He's a well-respected player in our ranks, and you know, we've enjoyed him since the day he came.
Yes.
You know, and he's a very steady player, and he's a winner as well. You know, he can play. So you know, I'd hate for people to think that.
Oh, Rhonda's got ace jack. She might open those doors.
Well, let's see if my read was right. See if she spins the cards in the
Okay,
fingers.
well she is. Oh.
Or maybe we missed the spin.
I played one hand.
She raised to 12.
183.
No, no, she
one hand the whole day.
And did you hear a little scream out there?
Yes.
Blaster goes in. I played one hand, and you have to go all in on me.
467 Zim dollars.
And she doesn't know, but she's
She
ahead.
said how much? She says 467 Zim dollars. That's not even enough for a loaf of bread these days.
No.
You're underestimating the strength of the Canadian
Okay,
dollar.
she's flicking the cards there. That's the beep in the background for the 1 minute warning for the
Yes.
timer. That always affects the way people play the last
It does.
hand.
The last hand is usually easy to steal.
Thanks for the poll. It's been good doing business with you.
And she's in the tank. She's asked for a count. She's got the count. It's 92,000. And she's got 537 behind. So if she calls, she's
And
going
she
to
is
have
ahead.
she's going to have 460.
I'll tell you what, you can look at it after whatever you do.
Okay, Blaster's doing his normal act here now. I suspect there's a you're getting extra acting for the tequila,
Yes.
and you know, he's looking for a fold here. He just wants to clean up the dead money. He doesn't want this this Canadian lady
No, he's happy to take it out.
calling her.
I want you guys to fight it out. Fold.
And there she goes, fold, and we're beeping ourselves out. And that is and that's the end of the level. And we'll just fade out the table mic there. Thank you to thank you so much, Lauren, for your help today. Much appreciated, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed having you here.
Pleasure. It was absolutely lovely.
Sorry you're coughing a little bit there. You need to drink some of our sponsors' water. Okay, we're going to take a short break. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll be back after the break. Thanks a lot.
Deshaun. No Q&A. No Q&A.
Thank you.
Now you find out that it's ace 4 heart. You cannot call.
So I know, I just out of
From
gut.
43,000
And you had ace 4 what? Queen 10.
Well, yes. I know, I think so did him, but I just had a gut feeling you should have called.
Alright, small blind, big blind.
How much is in blind?
Yeah, but he can raise.
Okay, welcome back after the break. Quick 15-minute comfort break. It looks like we got one more level to play. We'll check on the screen in a minute, but I think there's 17 players left. So hopefully we'll play down to the final table. But the play's going to get a bit tougher now. But before we get into the analysis and the commentary, I'd like to welcome back Haggai. Gogs, nice to see you, buddy.
Same like Alvin needs you to talk.
Can we just put Gogs' microphone on, please?
I'm here all night.
Yeah, so sorry, welcome back, Gogs. We didn't have your microphone live there for a moment.
Okay, thank you. A bit disappointed. I'd rather be still sitting there, but it takes one mistake and boom.
Well, you know,
Out of here.
well, you know, if you wouldn't mind talking about the hand that you went out on, I mean, we've gone through it on the stream already, and I believe that as I recall, you called with the high card, and you thought she was on a busted flush, maybe.
No, I actually hit the 4.
I saw that, yes.
So what happened was I had King 4 suited. I only saw one hand in the final table for the 2 hours sitting there. Obviously blinds going up and folded to me in hijack, or cutoff it was. I had to obviously apply a bit of pressure, and I could see that she was a bit weak because she almost folded and then she called. So, you know, it came, I'd King 4 suited, came 6-4-2.
16, 8, 16.
You know, hitting a middle pair, and in most cases I am ahead there. There was a flush draw as well. She can be calling to draw anything. Turn came at 10, bringing 2 flush draws, and that's where I made my mistake. She bet out 32, and I should have either just raised, shove at that point with the stack that I had, or fold. And yeah, we learn from our mistakes.
And Lauren and I were commentating at the time, and I think we kind of read your thought process there, and we were surprised when you didn't raise, and then we were actually surprised when you called as well. But you know, given your thought process, we now have a better understanding, and we thank you for you sharing your thoughts there, because you know, as a poker player, one, you're already hurting because you're out of a high roller event, and not making the final table, but two, you know, exposing yourself to the stream as well by telling us what your thought process was. But you know, we thank you for that. So you know, pretty awesome stuff. And you know, sorry you're out. Their loss is our gain, as we always say. So it's nice to have you back in the commentary booth, and some expert analysis. We haven't changed the tables because you know, there's only 1 hour left, so the same people are at the same spots.
Okay.
And Neil's got pocket 10s here, and Daniel's already raised to 34, and he's just smooth called in with a pocket 10. Do you like the smooth call here?
I haven't really seen how the hand panned out.
Well, the flop, we've got a flop now, so the flop is 5-3-7.
Okay, there we go. So I see Daniel raised, Neil just flat called. Look, Neil's got a bit of a stack. Daniel raised to 34 and he's got 153 behind him.
Yeah.
I guess Neil just wanted to see a flop before he carries on. I don't think he's putting anything down, and the action's gonna. There we go. Okay. He just wanted to see that the flop looked pretty good until he could continue with the hand, and I think the guys are cautious. I mean, I think there's, if I'm not mistaken, 17 players left.
That's correct, yeah.
And there's only 6 prizes.
Yeah, indeed, you're absolutely right. There's only 6 prizes. I mean, it's worthy of note. We were looking at Gareth Hudson. We just got a shot here at the other table, and Gareth Hudson is top of picture there. You see, he's picked up a few chips since the last time we looked.
Yes.
And he had a set, and he was getting into it with Aston, who's in the bottom of our picture. And that hand went on for quite a while after the break started. So they were 3 or 4 minutes into the break while that hand still carried on.
Okay.
And Gareth ended up winning through. I mean, he didn't get paid off in its entirety, but he made a fair chunk of change out of Aston. So there was a change of some of the power over there. Now, you know, bottom left of our picture, Eugene here. Everybody knows Eugene. Very powerful and respected player in the circles in South Africa. And I said to him in the break there, I said, you're chipping away, you know. He's just getting a few soldiers together here before we start fighting the war. But he knows that he's got to start chipping up.
He did have a bit, I think he's gone down quite a bit in stacks, but he's got a lot of experience to know what to do and how to maneuver his stacks to the best of his ability.
He's got 266, and Lauren was in here before you, and you know, she was quite complimentary of the way in which he's playing with the small stack and stealing in the right positions, etc. So, you know, you and her were both thinking the same way, and the evidence is true. Look at him; he's in his thought process here once again. You know, Blaster in the seat one's in for 127k. Eugene's considering a call here with King 2. I don't think he does.
No, he's not going to commit half of his stack. What is that? Yeah, it's half his stack. I mean, as much as he might think and want to, I mean, I was in that position with King Jack, and you don't really want to put it in. I mean, you can raise with weaker hands, but calling half your stack off with King high, let's even say with 2 kicker, it's almost impossible. Unless it's blind on blind, but even he wouldn't commit half a stack.
No.
He knows what he's doing.
And Sean picks up a few chips, so welcome chips as well. We'll get a chip count now. And Blaster's enjoying himself with this feature table, huh?
He said to me that this is his first high roller.
Really?
Yeah.
So he's having a ball, huh?
yeah, he's having a couple of pots there. He did qualify through a satellite.
Okay.
So he said to me, I was in for 4,000 rand. That's what it cost him. And yeah.
He won a 40,000 rand seat. So, you know.
Look, he also knows how to play. I've played with him for many years before. I know he's taken a break through family and everything like that. I mean, he started his family life, obviously took over and stuff, but now he does it more recreational and out of enjoyment.
Sure. And you know, Sean's always a pleasure to be around. Good host in PE as well.
Yeah.
You know, always make sure you're happy, and we'll try and look after you whenever he can. So you know, always a pleasure to be around, and he's getting plenty of mentions on the chat here as well. So he's got a bit of a fan club online as well.
Okay, you can see. There we go.
Yeah. You know, let's go, Shawnee. So came the cry.
From Yaku Jackets.
Yeah, the toy. Yeah, so Eugene's all in with 6-4 here in the small blind, 266,000. Ray Adam is the player in the big blind. And Ray has not shown any indication that he likes to call these bets off. He's been very tight and made some very sort of what I would call nitty, maybe discipline faults. So I'd be interested to see what he does.
No, that is half a stack.
Well, it's more than half. It's 250 to call. He's got 395. So yeah, it's
Okay,
well,
there we go.
And you know they go in, and of course, you know, Eugene picks up a few more soldiers to fight the war. You know.
Look, Eugene at 6 high. Eugene does know that what kind of a player Ray Adams is, which is quite tight, and if he does manage to find a hand and call, at least Eugene's hand is quite live, and he doesn't need to worry about being dominated. You know, as what I mean by that is that
he's got some equity at showdown, is what you're saying. He thinks he's got live cards.
That's it.
Yeah, indeed. So 51 minutes, it's 8,000, 16,000, 16,000 on the big blind. And when we come back tomorrow, it's 10:20. I mean, it's getting serious then, eh? That's a crapshoot time, you know, for the small stacks.
Yeah, for the small stacks. But I must say that it's not like the free roll that we were commentating on earlier, where it was a real crapshoot and everyone's got 11 big blinds. They're going to have a lot of blinds. I mean, yes, if you short stack, like in any tournament, you short.
And of course, Blaster's shoving this in. And
Tower of Pleasure.
Yeah, it would help Sean if you made those stacks a little bit easier to handle for the dealer. But Sean's got what is all in as 167,000. So
135.
I mean, Neil's waiting for the count. I don't think there's any way on God's green earth that Neil's making a call there with
Nice.
6-7.
Yeah, it's folded already.
Mr. Sun is going to get rid of that junk as well. And I don't know if Olvin's interested. Let's see what Olvin's got now.
You've got cards. You took his cards.
Dealer, you took his cards.
Who's cards?
We have a problem.
Blah. I can tell you what I had.
He's all in.
No.
And his dealer's taking his cards.
Okay, just technical team. Tell the dealer that we know what his cards
No
are.
action, but he's all in.
I can tell you what I had.
But they'll be on the camera.
Put it on RFID.
Yeah, you see. Now Sammy will come in here. And
Very lucky.
But this is
Very lucky that it's
okay, that's fine. That's fine. There's no problem. That's why we have this system. Okay, Sammy. Sam, our tournament director's just come in. There is a problem on the feed in terms of the dealer has picked up his cards, and we're showing his cards on the stream, but we can't actually announce them live because
We have seen it.
we have seen them.
You have to have a longer one.
But our technical team have told Sammy what the cards are, and Sammy will go back outside and keep them discreet. He will pick up the cards.
See all these other cards.
So let's see my cards in hand. Did you see what
Now the first two as well.
I'm surprised none of you used a marker.
Okay, so now we'll talk about a ruling that's just been made here. There's a common sense approach. We have technology available, and Sam is a tournament director. Rule number one of the tournament director's rule book is common sense must prevail. If you can retrieve the cards legally and accurately, you are allowed to do so.
Yeah.
And because we have RFID technology, we are able to tell him what his cards were without any shadow of a doubt.
RFID, how must they know whether you've got, you can say I had aces.
You know, normally in a situation like that, they say protect your cards, but he's put all his chips in to the middle of the table, so he can't protect his cards.
Well, he can put his hand on them, of course. I mean, it is part of the rules that a player must protect his hand at all times. And it is his responsibility. What's happened here is we've been given the opportunity, given the technology we're using, to retrieve his cards and use some common sense. And and I think the players on the table should respect that, because they might want to use that to their advantage in the future as well. They might need that help. Okay, so there comes the chocolate. I wonder if the chocolate lady's going to find this door.
It's a dealer mistake.
Speak to the dealer and ask the dealer to send the chocolates this way.
That's why I bring this.
Which one? We're talking about those.
Yesterday, Dave De Beer, who looks after our merchandising at Monsterjam, he brought us some chocolate back, so hopefully he's going to do the same today.
You mark my hand in this time, you're going to have big problems.
One of our technical lads might decide to go run outside and steal some chocolate for us, of course. You never know. Well, talking of water, Gogs, a big shout out to our sponsor, Aquavita Water, official water for our tournament and for the EFC, as well as Regal Hospitality and Events, who are also a co-sponsor with them. Sean wakes up with pocket nines here. Suspect we're going to see some sort of bet here.
Yep. There we go, race to 40.
How do you like that sizing with 16,000 the big blind? I mean, so it's 3 point something X. You happy with that sizing from under the gun?
Yes. Look, he started off the 167k. I can't see him folding. Normally when you raise that big, that small, it's basically leaving you an option to fold if someone
comes over the top.
Yeah,
for sure.
But I really don't see him folding if someone does come over the top, because it's about 25%. 25% of his stack.
For sure.
But yeah, look, as you say, the blinds are getting big. People don't want to get involved unless they've got a hand.
Yeah.
So, I think that's quite a fair.
Okay. It's an interesting take, So Daniel Lamberto to his friends, is now on 7 bigs. Sean picking up that dead money has moved above him with 15. And Eugene, I think there was like 13 or 14 bigs. So there's a few guys in the danger zone.
Got ace queen. Your card's gone. You say you had an ace.
It looks like an all-in here from
No,
Divan.
look, they find a king.
No, but
Actually,
if
you
I
had
tell
ace
them,
nine.
if I tell them,
Who's
They
got
don't
cards?
have ace.
Kenny's got cards to his
I
right.
remember. So I don't remember what I had, but I had an ace
And
king.
I think maybe it's
You know
Kenny
you
to
had
make a
the ace.
decision.
Find
We'll
the
stay
ace.
with this table
I
for a second.
understand. But in this very instant, that was all my fault.
Doesn't matter.
To be honest.
So just for the viewers out there, the graphics are still for our main table. We're just having a visual here on the overhead. It looks like Divan's all in, and that's a significant all in there. There's hundreds. You're the chip counter. That's the best part of 200,000, I think, and some change.
That's about 200 and just over 200, probably around 210.
Yeah. I know Kenny's got a big stack. He's carved out the call there by the look of things. And we will stay with this outside table just for a moment. As I say, the graphics that you're seeing are
from the feature table.
From the feature table for sure. And Mr. Sun has just raised the 42,000 on the feature table. So I think I just heard an all-in on the other side from Daniel Lombardi. So we'll flick back quickly to the feature table.
Okay, so Mr. Sun's raised nines, Daniel Lamberti's all-in raised queen, and I think we're probably going to see a call.
You know I've got the goods.
Daniel doesn't want to call.
I did see that one of his art was folded in ace.
And we got some Peruvian pipes playing in the background, some nice ambience.
Okay, you made the call.
Okay, so they're going to be on the backs.
Card marker, card marker.
That's what you want.
Okay, so it's almost a race, 55-45. Let's see what the flop brings us. Okay, so there's some draw possibilities. Slow it down, dealer. Slow it down.
Oh, and Lambo's out.
And
We talk nicely before we
Daniel,
start.
you played well. Always a pleasure to see him at the feature table.
Lambo, unfortunately, yeah, he's out just before the final table.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Lugano has lost $1.3 million with ace king.
I have no idea what Rhonda's on about there, by the way. You're picking up on the speaker. Let's just flick back to the other table, see if that hand finished, see if we still got Divan in the hand. At the table, shall I say.
I think they are going to bring a player here.
16, please. 16.
So this is the last level of the night, am I right?
You're right, yeah. We're going away and we're going to come back in the morning at 11 a.m. and that'll be day 3 of our high roller.
Okay, dealer, some give me pocket rockets. I haven't played for a long time.
Okay, Divan has got a big stack of chips there. It looks like Kenny called and Divan doubled up.
Yeah.
Kenny's stack is half the size.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, technical team. And Gareth is still surviving. He was on a very short stack earlier. Right, back to our feature table. And is that Marinette coming to join us? So they're obviously balancing the tables. We'll get a chip cam for Marinette when she sits down.
Is it possible to go back and see what hands they had?
No, we don't. We can only flick to the outside table with the cameras we've got available on the live feed. That's correct.
Okay.
So Dave has not let me down. I did predict that he would be here with chocolates. You see, it's like a secret elfling having Dave the Beer on your side. And Rhonda's woke up with pocket queens. The doors will be open to Rhonda's cave. Trust me here. There will be. Thank you, Dave, for the chocolate.
No, but
there
I
will
don't
be
see
some
cards
action.
in front of her.
I cannot believe she just folded pocket queens.
No, doesn't make sense. I mean, she can't fold 6-3 off. There's no way she's folding pocket queens.
Yeah, we must have had a misread on the reader there, but it definitely showed pocket queens.
I was going to say it's been a pleasure playing with you.
I mean, the technology isn't infallible. It's very rare you see a mistake.
Before Eugene became famous, he used to be a good friend
Small blind, please, 8,000.
Me. That's one of my pieces really. Get over here.
$10,000 small blind.
Okay, so back to the action. Marinette Language has joined us at the table. And it
Oh, there we
looks-
go, and Daniel and Bertie's seat. Okay.
Yeah, so she's taken over from Lambo in seat 7.
And she's got quite a bit of a stack.
Yeah, seat 8 is empty, and seat 9 is Rhonda, and seat 10 is empty.
Tequila boy.
Oh, ask the
The
dealer.
dealer just put the marker on your cards.
What do you want?
And we have a rank to 40,000.
Okay, so Alvin's sitting in the seat that I was in when you see two picture cards. Yeah, seems like Christmas. He's there
Especially if you've been card dead for a long time.
for a long time.
Yeah.
I know where he's coming from.
Yeah, I mean, Lauren, who was here before you commentated, she made the comment that by seeing everybody else's cards, she realises it's not just her who's card dead all the time. Other people do get card dead as well, you know.
That's all I'm worried about.
And it's an eye opener when you come and sit in here and you watch everybody else's cards, huh?
Mariette 300k, is that correct?
We've just gone out to check the count now.
Yeah, I have a feeling that her stack is
16.
substantially bigger than that. But maybe she lost a couple of pots before she arrived. Is there no other camera shot that we can have a look?
Yeah, she's counting her chips now for us.
There we go.
Yeah, so we'll find out, Nana. So Eugene is under the gun with ace-3 suited.
One raise a 4.
Early position. Nice cards for him, but I think...
In that position,
yeah, I think he's got to get shot one.
might just opt to.
Well, he's thinking about it. But he's got to get it through a lot of players. So,
Okay.
he's reaching for chips here.
No, but it's cheating me. He's cheating me on the...
I mean, his image is really up there at the table at the moment. So, you know, if anybody can get through the whole table with a razor from under the gun, it's him.
How does he make a chick cry
No.
in the free?
It looks like he's folded.
No, he's decided to get rid of him.
Come on, have a heart. I'll hold it.
Got raise a 4.
Have a heart.
Any two cards that make sense.
Thank you. Have a heart.
Right?
Okay, so Mr. Sun has decided to raise. We don't know what he's got.
How do you make a chick cry?
Playing some great music tonight. I mean, us old people would recognise this music, of course. It's a British band called Purple Horror. Whiter Shade of Pale.
46,000.
Classic from my teenage years.
What was your chip count?
Okay,
Oh.
Olvin's actually woke up with a hand.
Ross?
Can you request Franz to get his hand? We don't know what he's got.
There's no one over
Who's this?
there.
Mr. Sun.
Mr. Sun, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
There is?
what is he saying?
Obviously.
Mr. Sun had the ace jack of clubs.
So he's Olvin is saying he's chopping. So I think you were absolutely right. Marinette has got significantly more chips than 18 big blinds. But I think it's nearer 700, huh?
Your friend.
760.
That's for
Yeah, 760,000. So we'll rectify that on
I did that in
the
Macau. I
software.
did it in Macau.
Chongli,
What a guy.
But his name is Bolo Chong.
Bolo, yes.
Have you seen him now? He's still a fucking
So
legend.
blinds 816, 16,000 on the big blind ante. Hand 212 for the
That
day.
was a legend,
Do you know it's a true story?
That's what they say.
Random's
No, it's
97
based on
suited.
obviously
Yeah,
a
it's
little bit
a little bit of
of
fucking
no, but there is a
cinematics.
guy like that. that
It's an American house.
Decided to get a bit frisky.
It's just a smooth call there, I think.
Yeah,
Or
this
was
is
that a
my
raise?
childhood. My childhood was surrounded by that.
Raise just a
No,
call.
just a smooth call.
And it folds round to Mr. Sun. Mr. Sun folds. Olvin with a 7-6 fold. So just Eugene. I don't know what's happening with the software, guys.
Used to be such good guys back in the day.
Okay, so Eugene's got Jack 5 off. Obviously got the option to...
He's in the big
no,
blinds.
so there was a raise.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the players are, they do realise that they can't wait for aces or kings, and they're gonna start using the image. Whereas like Ray Adams, his image is very tight.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's decided obviously under the gun to show a bit of strength, and the people will give him more of, there's an all-in.
Was it Forrest Whitaker?
Ace King versus? Looks like queens. No, King Queen. Ace King versus King Queen.
Who's got the cards? Is that Kenny or is it Rudolph?
No idea. But
everything, so even the other dude that got injured, that also exists.
what's his name?
Check out that.
Aston, that's it. It looks like Aston's just doubled up. He must have been very short. He doesn't look like he's got
it's not so
a lot of chips after this.
The last time before the break that went on for quite a while, he ran into Gareth Hudson's set of queens and gave up a lot of chips just on the very last time before the break.
Okay.
I just happened to see the hand as I walked outside, so...
You had the two controls, the two guys are fighting in there. You had the two levers. You understand what I'm talking about?
Alvin with 582 turn. On the button. Folded to him. He's going to put on a little raise.
And what's Eugene got?
Eugene's got muck cards. Let's see what Ray's going to wake up with. Yeah, a situation like this. Eugene calls.
Yeah, I think that's just because Olvin flatted.
Oh, I see. Okay, he flattered. Okay, I understand.
So there's
makes sense.
Yeah, then so Eugene completes and he's looking, for Ray just to check back to the big blind here, but that's obviously not the case. Ray's made it up to 40k. So now Eugene has to decide what he wants to do in the small. Sensibly gets out of the way. Once again, Ray using his reputation there.
The other iconic one was Kickboxer, was also pretty iconic. Kickboxer was the same thing, isn't it?
And it's actually nice to see Ray getting a bit more active on the table. He was actually holding some very good hands earlier and playing very, very tight. So he's changed a few gears and he's demonstrated that very nicely.
No, but I mean, I actually watched that one part.
So Marinette is top of the tree on our feature table now with 760, so we got an accurate count there. And very good player, actually, very quiet, just gets on with the game.
Look, she is what she can do is basically change gears. I believe she was very active in the table, the previous table.
Sure.
And yeah, she's accumulated a lot of chips, and she decided obviously to sit back. But it doesn't look like she's had any hands anyway to.
No, well, not on this table. We haven't seen her for a while. She was on the table earlier today, but she's been missing in action for quite a while.
And trust me, she's not shy to put her chips in the middle.
Oh, for sure. So it's around to Eugene with King 2. He's had this hand quite a few times this evening, King 2.
Let's see, he might see it as two kings. He's certainly seeing it as two kings. Let's see what he does.
People are going to expect him to make a move on the button, especially in limp pop situations. Only the blinds to follow. I mean, you expect him to try and steal something here. So the money will go in.
Eugene, it's King 2, not two kings. Well done.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, it's a classic steal. Classic steal. And once again, his reputation holds him firm there. So it's a gain of 40k. And Blaster in seat 1 is continuing to boost the share price that the local tequila has.
Just see how bad the action is.
I spoke with him during the break. He is not driving. He's staying here. He will be sleeping over. And he's enjoying himself. And, he's got a hard job. And, nice to be able to come out and enjoy himself for have a few drinks. So, we do encourage sensible drinking and we don't want people overdoing it. And certainly not drinking and driving. But, I think Sean's sensible. Okay, well, Sean's under the gun with Queen 2. Let's see how sensible he is now with his cards, huh?
Okay, so he's got 207k stack. Per rotation, it's 32 plus 8. It's 40,000 per rotation. So the guys can't just sit back and wait for premium hands. They obviously need to find spots, the right spots, put pressure, and
the blinds are coming fast behind him. He's under the gun here. You know, he knows that he's in a bit of trouble. But as you say, Sean's quite an experienced player. He'll know what to do. It'll be interesting to see how he behaves when he's in the blinds. Hopefully, he's going to get some hands.
46.
Okay, so we've got Neil Jacobs is raised to 46. It's 9.
My friend, if I called him like there, it'll be at least 7
There is a drug that was killing people in President Mercedes. And that had a
Big
lot
blind
of
Ronda, 32.
46. Because they get the ARVs free.
Yes,
30 more for you.
I must say, there hasn't been many hands lately that that have been contested by other big hands.
No.
It has been pretty quiet.
I mean, the runner cards at this table has been pretty poor, to be honest. We've not seen any decent hands at all.
No.
You know, we need a nice ace-queen into jacks or something just to liven us up a bit. You know, we're all getting a bit lethargic here, and I mean, we're at the end of a very long day. You know, we've been at it for about 12 hours.
It's funny how it happens that it might go for hours like this, and then suddenly within 5-6 hands, you get action. Hand off to the other, one off to the other.
Well, one thing I can do is guarantee you that the last hand will always be the worst hand to call in. It's just inevitable. But we've got a little bit of time on our side. Neil's under the gun with the King 10 here, and of course now Sean's in the blinds, so we'll expect some action from him very shortly. 710 under the gun, and Neil's. Oh, they're going in the muck. No, I thought he was reaching for some chips there.
It looked like it.
Mr. Sun with King 5. I mean, that's got to go in the muck. Olvin also been card dead, huh? I mean, you know, he likes to play hands, Olvin, but he's very disciplined.
Very disciplined and got a lot of patience.
And 10-6 suited, you know, looking down in the hijack, late position. There's been no callers here, so it's Eugene's might sniff an opportunity. No, he's
nothing.
You know, Alvin's come just. Oh, there we go. Mariette's found her hand.
Yeah, and I think, you know, she's the big stack at the table. She's got a bit of bet in here, and unless somebody's got a decent hand, this is just going to fold around and she's going to clean up the spare money, I think.
45,000.
Rhonda's shown no interest in calling in any of the hands lately. She puts the Lebanese aces in the muck. Sean in the big blind's just got a... Hang on. He's shoving all his money in.
So he obviously puts on a steal because she's big stack.
Then the dealer will slow down on the deal here and pull the cards in, so we can see what's going on. Or he's got live cards in his mind.
He's got live cards.
Ooh, and I think that that might just be the death blow. I think Sean is going to be released to the bar.
Only jack or 9, maybe. No, he's drawing dead.
He's drawing severely dead. And you'll see the tick against the queens there, which indicates that he's drawn dead.
Blaster has been blasted.
The blaster has taken off. They go around and thank everybody, and not forgetting his supply there.
3, 2, 1, blast off. Straight to the bar.
So we're down to 16 players. That'll be 8 on each table now, unless there's been some changes out in the field.
And that's all you need at the end of the day. That's the first hand that Mariette played in the last, call it 40 minutes.
Oh, for sure.
And yeah, well done Mariette. Unlucky blaster, and nice to see you, and hopefully we see you again.
He actually plays pretty tight most of it.
It pains me, Sean, but I crossed you off my list on the table. Okay, what's happening on the outer table? Just having a quick scoos around the stacks. Looks like Kenny's taken a couple of hits there. And Uncle Harold's doing okay. Gareth's building his stack again. Sean Governor's got some green chips over there, although his stack is quite small. And Aston looks to be the shorty at the table by the look of it, huh? At the bottom of your screen.
Looks like he's got about 120,000 left.
Yeah, and the button's on Kenny there, so he's in the big blind as well. So maybe we'll see some action across there. It is a bit optimistic to think we're going to get to one table, but you never know. Okay, so Eugene's fold is 8-4. Ray's got pocket sixes. I'm going to say we're going to see some sort of action here now. Marionette gets rid of her cards. 9-3, 7-6 for Rhonda. That'll be in the muck.
It's painful.
And Neil's got a suited king here. He's in the big blind, so he's already made a bit of a commitment in terms of chips.
And it looks like he is going to have a look at the flop. Little does he know, he's actually got 2 overcards.
So it's always nice to see a flop, particularly when we're short-handed.
Is this the card room you play at?
And the king has come up, trumps the 6 are well behind that. Top pair for Neil. And I think
one is Argyle and one is Yellowhead.
So a bet and a call.
The one I live right beside and the other one I drive to play the yellow.
There was 1-6 that was folded.
Yeah, so he's got a lock on the hand now, Neil.
No, he's still got one out.
He's got one out, so yeah, I mean, 3%.
He doesn't seem to want to let that go. He's obviously putting Neil on a flush draw, hopefully.
Yeah.
Oh, let's get those names.
And he fills up, of course. The full house for Neil.
I might make a trip to Canada and
King's full of 3s.
get around.
And your 2 pair is dead in the water, my friend.
He's committed a lot of chips.
Yeah, probably Niagara Falls isn't that bad either.
So
So
Neil
I
goes
haven't
all
played
in.
another one of those yet.
And Ray's got a decision to make. I actually think this is fairly polarised. You either got it or you haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no in between ground here.
He's got 256,000 left.
And if you want to see your name on the bag and tag list, I think he's got a fold here. And of course, and he's absolutely right to do so. So a disciplined fold, well done. And it's a gain of nearly 200,000 for Neil. Thank you very much. Your king did good. And Neil climbs up to just below Marionette there. And Marionette with that last pot is just under $1 million there. So that's a huge stack to be taken in tomorrow's action.
Tomorrow if they start 10, 20, 20 big blinds, that's almost 50 big blinds if she's got $1 million.
Yeah, that's a lot of big blinds.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of room to manoeuvre.
And 1 hour blinds, very comfortable.
It looks like Aston is on his feet in the background there. I don't know if we could get a shot at the other table. 20 odd minutes to run on the level. 15 players left in. I'm pretty sure I saw Aston on his feet there.
You didn't want to take a tequila with you got upset.
Kings versus Queens.
And we just drop down to the bottom of the picture there, see if Aston's sea is empty. Yeah, and I'm right, Aston's away. So we've lost another player.
I will keep it a good card.
And it looks to me like Rudolph might have picked up those chips. Rudolph's stack is growing. So we'll get back to our feature table. Ronda to call the 16,000 with the Queen 9.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay, so Henny's all in.
Yeah, that would kind of make you
Okay, we'll stay with this table. We'll just ask the technical guys just to stay on this screen.
Okay, so we've got Kenny that raised in the cutoff, and Henny shoved over the top.
And I mean, Henny was in smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Or it might have been a dead.
Yeah, dead small.
Dead
He's
small
not big.
and he was the big one.
Yeah, indeed. So we're tracking the other table with the graphics and the sound, and we're actually just getting a view of the overview. And Kenny folds, open folds an ace. So we'll go back to the feature table. And looks like Kenny got his all in through there.
You see?
They say one hand follows another. Definitely doesn't work here.
You give me a walk, you build up a
Okay, so there was a bet in the fold. Mr. Sun bet is 8-3, and there's an 8 on the flop,
One is my stone two bird.
and a fold from Neil.
This Mr. Sun, he's so excited. Actually fun to have on the table.
Yeah, and he's a nice man. I like his company. He's such a nice chap. So Marionette and Neil have basically got 50% of the chips in play on the table. Nice spot to be in. Going into the break soon.
Must be nice.
Must be nice.
Raise a fall.
Mariette
Pocket sevens. I mean, she's not going to just smooth here, I'm sure.
picking up the walking sticks.
Sevens always coming, you know, eh? 77 Sunset Strip.
I believe that Ron will probably have a quick look-see at this
I'm
flop.
actually surprised that Rhonda's even knows how to pick up chips. Her doors have been closed for the last hour. She said, I'm going to play tight. I mean, it's excessively tight. She's folded some big hands. And Mr. Sun's picked up the suited connectors, the same suit as Rhonda's. So, and there's also a heart in Mariette's hand. So, you know, the flush is very unlikely. But we do have that ace lurking with Rhonda.
You know, I've been on the table before where 4 players on the table flopped the flush.
That's unbelievable, isn't it?
4 players on the table.
That is unbelievable.
That makes it, it was diamonds, it was 8.
Mr. Sun flops the best of it with the queen here.
Oh, there we go.
There's one art on the flop, so I mean, to keep people interested, we're going to need another one on the turn. And the bet comes 54,000. So I think we're just going to see it all folded round.
Yeah.
Rhonda hasn't been on the TV for a while. She does like to tank a little bit. She's got a
no.
big fan club out there in Edmonton in Alberta.
Okay.
And it looks like she might even be a non-believer. Sorry to tell you this, Rhonda, but
Oh, there we go. There's certain players you should know that you can't.
re-raise, or you can't just black call.
Well, yeah. In this case, he's not letting go of his hand. So.
Well, that's a good card for Rhonda. She might not know that, but Mr. Sun is bang all in as soon as that king came.
Mr. Sun, all in.
So you know.
You're so full of caca.
He's obviously putting her on maybe a flush draw, some sort of a draw.
And did you hear what? Did you hear what Rhonda said to him?
No.
You're so full of it.
I know you're full of caca.
I'm using the polite version.
No.
But she has to fold her cards. And Mr. Sun doesn't deserve that sort of grief because, you know, he's just playing his cards. And he's actually a gentleman. You know, if he's one of the chirpy ones at the table, then, you know, you got to take what you give. But he's a quiet gentleman. So.
Look, she's been after him the whole time. So every time they get into a pot, she says to him, you owe me chips, you owe me chips. Although, he did double up Ace King versus King Jack.
That's indeed, that did happen.
I guess it's the table banter for you. Okay, so we've got 17 minutes left of this level in tonight. I think once we get down to 10 minutes, they're going to pause the clock and they'll draw for cards to see if it's 3, 4, 5 hands left.
It's going to be 4, of course.
How do you know that?
Well, I just do, you know.
Okay.
Well, we're just looking for a bit of action here in the booth, you know.
Okay, I say 3. You know you owe me a case of 1.
I do, yeah, I'm sure.
Double or nothing. I'll go
How
for
do I owe
3,
you a
go
case
for
of wine? I don't remember that one. Go on.
Why was it a misdeal?
Misdeal.
Okay, so I'm just watching the feed, and on the feed that's going out, Sean is still in on the table because we're a half an hour delay.
Oh, I see.
You know, so the people on the feed are actually commenting on the half-an-hour delay feed because they don't see it until half an hour afterwards.
Oh, I see. Okay, is this? Oh, that's
Well, Sean's got pocket 9, so they're giving him some dogs abuse for wearing the Red Man United shirt and all sorts of stuff here and tequila. So, you know.
I told Sean, I said to him,
bit of clean fun.
if you want to be winning, why are you wearing that top? Didn't like that comment.
Well, as a long-suffering and celebrated Manchester United fan, I mean, my vintage, my dad took me to see Manchester United play when Bobby Charlton and George Best were playing for them, so back in the day. So I think we've got Ray with the pocket 3s here, which is, if you didn't know, Lauren's second favourite pocket pair.
Oh, really?
Did you not know that? We found that on air earlier today. That's her second favourite pocket pair. And I think, I can't remember if the set was flopped or not, but I think the hand won. I think the pocket 3s won. So I had to bow to her superior knowledge.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we don't know what Eugene's got, but...
Yet. But he's looking at his chips, which is always a telltale sign that he's going to be using them.
And there has been 3, I mean, the other 2 3s have been folded by the players. So it's going to really be difficult for him to continue with the hand after the flop.
Guaranteed there'll be overs. 7-7 ace. Interested if what Eugene's got. We'll get the dealer to ask him just to put his cards over the reader. Could we ask the dealer to get Eugene to put his cards over the reader?
Oh, there we go.
Oh, never mind, he's folding anyhow. So, I'm sure if Lauren was here, she'd be jabbing me in the back now, saying, pocket 3s win again. She's a pest, that woman, you know that, eh? I'm going to have to start playing pocket 3s. So if you're listening to the feed, Lauren, respect. Okay, so 3s is now in my armory. Okay, we should be getting very close to the close of play. We've just flicked across the other table. Have a look what's going on over there. It looks like Rudy's taking... no, he's throwing his cards in. And chips are sliding across the Henny Apple. Not surprised to see Henny in at the end as usual.
Yep.
You know, he runs deep. It's nice to see Harold in as well. Gareth Hudson, who was my pick prior to the commencement of the event, but looks like he's took a bit of a hit. As we quickly flick back to Marinette with Ace Queen.
Mariette.
Sorry, Mariette. My apologies.
Under the gun, Ace Queen.
Raising chips in hand.
Twitter.
She raises it up to 35,000.
And she'll get the respect she's due, I'm sure, unless somebody wakes up with a monster. I don't think Olvin's going to get involved here with his pocket 5s. He's on the button, but close to the end of the day.
I think he's seen her very tight. She's only played one hand so far, which is the queens. He is aware of that. He is sitting with 341. We might see a call.
Yeah. Do they look like raising chips or they look cooling chips?
No, that's 30. He's got a 35 in front of him.
So
Mistaken.
Calling chips, smooth call on the button. And he's paid to see the flop. Eugene gets rid of his cards, shop.
That's 45. Okay.
Raise and call. And that's a pretty interesting flop. The board's paired straight off the bat. Depends on what Olvin's read is here. Oh yeah, it's decided to check. So Olvin's going to bet here by the looks of things. That's a 50 and it's a 60,000 maybe. So just under half pot. Well, Marriott will know that Olvin wasn't calling with junk. She can put him on a pair. It's well within his range. And you know, the question is, does she want to get involved? And the answer to that question is no. And you know, Olvin's too tight a player and too good a player to be messing around with minutes to go on the clock for the day.
Look, I think they know that the end of day is coming. It's nearing. She's got a stack. She does need to get involved.
No, not at all.
She did a bit pre-flop. She's realised she's behind.
Okay, deal this hand and then pause when it's off hand.
There we go.
Okay, so that's the deal this hand and pause. So we'll be drawing for the 3, 4, 5 in a moment. I've been trying to get my technical team to get involved with gambling on the 3, 4, 5 with me, but they can't afford it. They want to play for $10.
Ah, $10.
That's no good to me.
There we go.
One of my team wants 2. It just shows you how bright the team are we've got. Pick any number, 3, 4, 5. He wants 2.
2. Maybe he wants 2 of those picks.
Yeah, perhaps we need to just upgrade some more technical people here. You know, it's become a problem, I think. Okay, so Rhonda has actually got a hand, and she's called the 16,000 with Ace 10. The Rhonda that we knew and love about 3 hours ago would have raised about 5x normally with that. She's completely changed her whole mindset here. I think she's determined to make a final table in high roller. She wants that on her CV.
I don't know if limping in from under the gun with Ace 10 will help her make a final table, but let's see what happens.
Well, Gogs, I got to tell you, you're absolutely right. You know, you can't check fold and you can't call fold your way to the final table. You're just going to shed chips, and you've got some pretty tigers guys around this table. You know, they're not going to let her do that.
45,000.
Okay, so the problem is that she wants to limp in with that hand and let the blinds in. Once a flop comes, she's actually got no clue what the blinds can have.
Indeed. You know.
But we've got Alvin that's he's obviously picked up on it and he's raised. Sensing a bit of weakness, she's not really too keen on raising that pre-flop, and he's taken the...
She's very precious over her chips at the moment, and that's her problem. And you know, when she shut the shop, she was around about 500,000 chips. And look at her total now, and we're at the end of the day. And all she's doing is smooth calling here and hoping for the best. When, you know, if she'd have shown a bit of strength, then she might have got there. Anyhow, the good news is for her, she hit the 10. 4, 10, 3.
And she's all in.
And she pushes. So Rhonda's back.
342,000. 342,000.
I'm going to think about it for 2 or 3 minutes. And his cards are going in the muck. He just needs to maintain a bit of credibility here. He's given her the stare down, but
he's not impressed.
He's not a happy bunny, Alvin. Not one little bit. And in fact, that's his unhappy face. I know that face. That is the I am not happy, but I am going to fall. And that's the give me your chips face from Rhonda.
Yep.
And she's going to drag in 472,000. And that puts a little bit of respectability back into her stack as we near the end of today's play.
Okay, so let's see. Is it going to be 3, 4, 5?
We already told you it's going to be 4.
3 more hands, guys.
3 more hands.
Just let me know you 2 cases of wine.
That's it.
Oh, goodness me.
Thank you, sir.
Listen, I'll probably just give you my vineyard. It'll be a lot easier.
That's all right.
Oh, yeah, thanks, man.
I want to drink you out of half an hour.
And just so we know that Marius in our technical team, it wasn't 2, eh? Just so we just pass that on to him.
Would you like to borrow my calculator, sir?
Okay, so 3 hands, and so that means the button will be finishing on Rhonda. So she gets to play the big, the small, and the button. Happy days for her.
Yes, correct. Buttons on right at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, give us some interesting hands. Normally at the end, towards the end of the day, we get some action. Here we go.
I've guaranteed you the reaction of the last knock-ins today.
Come
Mr. Sun, he's got 649,000, so only a raise here. He's not going to get too frisky this time of the day. And the gun +1 early position, so.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. That's the I want to come back tomorrow with my 600,000 fold.
I want to go to sleep fold.
Yeah, indeed. Eugene won't be happy with his stack size, but he won't be wanting to give any away either.
I wouldn't be surprised if he puts it in. 226. There's 40,000 to take. That's an. He can increase his stack by almost 20%.
Boom. Well predicted.
Bing.
And he just needs to make sure that Ray doesn't wake up with a monster or Marinetti there.
There we go. He's through.
And you know, Rhonda's still having to think about it here. Bit of TV time.
Did you beat 3 high?
But Eugene's been very fortunate in his seat draw. The people to his left. You know, he's actually predicted and read them very, very well. You know, if somebody more aggressive had sat to his left, you know, Kenny Morgan or someone like that, he wouldn't have been pulling half the moves he's been pulling tonight. But he's used his position and the people to his left to his advantage. He's read them well.
Absolutely, but look, he has got Mariette on that side.
She's only arrived recently. That's my point. I think she is a tough cookie, but you know, hang on, we got some action over here on the other table. I mean, Rudy seems to be looking like a chip leader there at the moment, huh? That's a big stack of greens he's got down in front of him.
Kenny's raising, takes it down.
So we don't know how many hands have been played on the outer table. What we do know is that we're on our second of 3 here. Hand 224 for the day. So it'll be 225 hands on the day, which isn't too bad. It's averaging around 18 hands an hour.
Okay. Is it taking into consideration the breaks as well?
No, that's just flattening it across all the time.
Okay, so Alvin's raised here, but we don't know what he's got. Neil's woken up with an ace, but folds. Oh no, he hasn't. He's called. Ace.
I find it.
Okay, we're just asking Alvin to move his cards in the box so we can see them.
There we go, ace 5.
Ace 5.
This technology is amazing.
It is indeed.
Hello.
Another 7. So Neil's got a lock on the hand.
And he's slow playing it.
And we're going to see a bet now, of course. He's got to try and get some value out of his hand.
I don't think he's going to see another chip going to the middle.
60,000.
From Alvin.
Over to put the angry face on again by the look of it.
Give him the look, Alvin. Here it comes.
There's the death stare. I think I'm going to nickname Alvin Darth Vader from now on. He's got that look about him. I wonder if he watches back the stream. I'll probably tell him to look back at the stream, you know. He's actually very good in commentary.
Oh, really?
He comes across as being quite shy, retiring, but when he's in commentary, very knowledgeable about the game, and a pleasure to have sat next to him. He's a really good guy. So, you know, we wind him up, but you know, he's a very nice fellow.
Well, Alvin's just come back off a win in the last high rally that he played.
Yeah, for sure, you're
the
right.
last weekend that passed. So he's very knowledgeable, and he's got and he knows what he's doing, and
his bankroll is healthy.
Not just that, he knows how to play all different kinds of stacks, from small stack to, I mean, he's been in many situations, and yeah, definitely one of the people that would be in contention to win this.
So he's got to sniff out that 7 first, though.
Yeah. Somehow I don't think he's going to be calling.
I don't think he's paying off this.
I think he's getting his money's worth with the deaths there, and the fold will come through.
Well, maybe he's just enjoying the TV time.
Right, with this chip. and then I took 10 and held this one until I could get it to balance, and then let go. But of course, all my friends are asses, so they're going, oh, sorry, Ron, putting a hip into the table.
Alright, last hand to come.
So, is Neil going to get over the million round, the million chip mark? We'll see. Rhonda's already packing up, she's having none of it. Rhonda's on the button.
Alright, this is cool.
So, all going to be first to act.
For a day. Last 10. Alright.
And Mr. Sun will be the last big blind of this level.
Well, if I decide to do something not ridiculous, I hope I'm not on the feature table.
It will fall off all the blind.
Sorry?
It will fall off all the blind.
You will do that?
Yeah.
I will raise.
Wait.
Last the hand.
I think Mr. Sun is announcing last hand.
This is the last hand.
Did you get that feeling?
I think so.
We have a race to
I was wondering what he was saying. Last hand. But now I understand. He meant last hand.
11 o'clock.
What's the rate?
40.
Where's the packet?
Okay.
So Neil's going to get the million chip mark. You know this, don't you? That's his plan.
Right, he's first getting a bit of a lip from Mr. Sun.
Yeah, Mr. Sun's getting a bit chirpy now.
And tomorrow we'll start.
Why did you still got cards?
Unfortunately, I have to vote.
Oh dear.
I'm counting my chips.
That's very interesting. Did Eugene? Oh, it's Ray. Okay.
Oh, check. My first to bet is going to win this pot.
There we go.
Fan folds them, and that's a wrap, as they say. Okay. So, you know, Gogs, thanks a lot, as usual, for coming in to support us for the last hour. It's been a pleasure having you on board. And hopefully you've enjoyed it. And if you're doing nothing better with your time tomorrow, swing by. We're always happy to see you.
Well, tomorrow there will be the main event starting,
Yeah.
so that's going to be quite interesting. But we're going to get down to the business end of this high roller tournament, which is going to be quite interesting.
What time's the main event kick off? Somewhere around 7.
7 p.m. Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're back here for this event to close out from 11 o'clock onwards, and obviously to give these guys an opportunity to play in the main event.
Yeah.
So we'll be here from 11 a.m. in the morning for our viewers out there. So tune in from 11:30, and you'll pick us up. Gareth Hudson chatting with Sammy, our tournament director there, seems to have a smile on his face. So hopefully he's still in and around. He was my pick for this, and. I suppose that really all it is now to say thank you to my technical guys, Marcel and Marius. They've done a great job today. It's very difficult to have full-on concentration for 12 hours a day. Might buy you a chocolate bar if you're good. Thanks to Googs and all the other commentary guys and girls who've been in today. We're going to sign off now, and we hope to see you tomorrow about 11:30 for the climax of this high roller 40,000 buy-in here in the beautiful Port Elizabeth. Have a nice evening and good morning to you all, and sleep well. Gary Allen signing off from